All right, welcome in to the Rant, non-political talk radio for normal Americans. I am Pugs Moran. We do this every day here from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E-Galleries in Dallas's Design District. It's talk radio, the way talk radio should be. Now, a little bit different start today because we've got some breaking news, and I'm just myself getting figured up. I'm just myself now figuring out what this is. That's why we were ready at noon. We were ready at straight up noon today. But all right, so here's what we know. We've got a school shooting that is happening. Police are going to update us on all the details. This is happening in Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, I love Madison, Wisconsin. It is at the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. Here's what we know as we hear CNN chirping in the background. Dateline Madison, Wisconsin. Madison police are investigating a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. The shooting was reported just before 11 a.m. at the school at 4901 East Buckeye Road. Multiple injuries are being reported. Excuse me. This is all happening so quick. I'm getting a bit. Multiple injuries were reported. The scene is considered active, and the public is asked to avoid the area. Roads around the 4900 block of Buckeye Road will be blocked off as law enforcement investigates. Parents and students were reuniting at the SSM Health Building near the intersection of East Buckeye and Singleton. This is a breaking story. This article will be updated when we learn more. Okay, so that is the initial information. At chat room, I need my chat room producers. This is where the chat room here is such an important part of what we do. I need you guys to be following what I can. I don't want any speculation, cite sources and stuff. You know what I mean? Just, but help me out with details because right now, okay, breaking. Chief, one suspect down, multiple children taken to the hospital. Okay, that's from someone going by Chief. I don't know if he's the chief of Madison, Wisconsin, or chief of Dane County. I'm not sure. This is, as I say, until now, we didn't know if there was even a suspect or a gunman. One suspect down. That's from the chief. Now that one suspect. Okay, that's interesting because just before we signed on, we were watching the police behave in a way here, at least as being shared with me from experts watching. The police seem to be going into a standoff kind of mode, suggesting that maybe there was a gunman still inside. Again, we're talking about the Madison, Wisconsin. There is an ongoing situation, a school shooting at the Abundant Life Christian School. Let's see here. Police now reporting suspect down. All right, this is CNN's new headline. Suspect down. Children among injured in school shooting. Now, remember, just a couple of seconds ago, it was being attributed to the chief of police, and it said one suspect down. Now, CNN has changed that to police suspect down. That's a big difference, right? I mean, if we're trying to gather all the information we can, an officer saying one suspect down and then CNN just sort of, changing that to suspect down. And I'm not saying it's nefarious on their part. I'm just saying, do they know something? Did they think the original chief says one suspect down? Did they think that was maybe misleading? I don't know. Is that their job to worry about what is and isn't misleading? I don't know. All right, let's take a look at where this is, first of all. We're in Wisconsin. Okay, so I love me some Wisconsin, and those of you who know me know that I particularly love me some Madison, Wisconsin. It's my retirement place. It's like if I became a billionaire right now, I'd move to Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, God, I love it. Anyway, here, let's take a look at where Abundant Life Christian School is. Okay, here we go. So we're taking a big look at it. So you got it's west of Milwaukee, as we lovingly call it, Milwaukee. Madison is here. It's the state capital. North of Madison and Chicago, short drive from both. Let's zoom in a little bit. Look at all these lakes. Oh my God, you got Lake Manitowoc, you got Lake Menominee, you got Lake. Oh my God, it's just so great. All right, so let's zoom in on the gorgeous Madison. This is where you want to be if you're in Madison, this little area right here. But okay, so let's go. Let's check this out. This is the Abundant Life Christian School, right there on Buckeye Road. Very nice. Of course, it's nice. It's Madison, Wisconsin. Everything in Madison, Wisconsin is. You know what? Everything in Madison, Wisconsin is darling. Everything in Madison, Wisconsin is absolutely darling. It's like America perfected, if you ask me. You know why? Because it's not rural, but it's also not big city, and it's not suburb. It's a college town. It's like Austin. It's like Austin with four seasons. That's the best way to describe it. All right, here's the school we're looking at. This is where the shooting took place. Looks like a nice little typical Madison, Wisconsin rural neighborhood. You got the pool cleaners out there. Let's see here. Okay, so let's drive around here, see what we can see. Can we pull in? Yeah, looks like we can. I don't know what this is. This looks to be, looks like a park, but it's just a school because Madison, Wisconsin is one giant park. Let's see here. I think we've got the shooting right here. Let's pull this up, okay? I think this is where we're going to get the press conference, and I want to see that. And then we'll move on. We got a full day of show. I mean, we'll move on unless we can't move on. You know what I mean? All right, this looks to be Fox out of Minneapolis. See if we get some sound here. This is supposed to be where they've got the reporter station because you can hear somebody in the background doing a live hit. All right, whoever that guy is, he's off mic. Could you hear a little bit of what he was saying? This is just raw footage from out in front of the school. Again, there's been a school shooting, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison police are investigating a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. This happened just before 11 o'clock. It looks to be in a little bit on the outskirts of downtown Madison. Shooting was reported just before 11 a.m. Let me see what... all right, I'm going to keep an eye on CNN. No, you know what? I don't even. Why? Why do I want to keep an eye on CNN? Let's go with something else. I need to get a better source. It's not a shot on CNN. It's just when I say a better source, quite frankly, in this studio, CNN is too glitchy. So I'm gonna go to YouTube. I'm gonna see what kind of live stuff we got. Who's this guy? What's he talking about? Let's listen.
Do you want to, maybe right here? I'll duck down once he starts talking.
I love how we get to hear the reporters talking before. Let's listen in. They're all off mic.
I think that's fine. Hey, the chief should be coming out here pretty soon. Yeah, I saw that drive by.
I'm trying to figure out where the staging area is because that looks like a QT, right? I don't see a QT or maybe a racetrack. See where that must be. I tell you, there are no. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here. So I guess this is it. So this is. I'll pull this.
At Carpet One, finding beautiful new floors has never been.
One. guys go straight to hell, carpet one. Here, okay, so here, this looks to be, and I'll show you where they're keeping the media. Okay, hold on. Nope, that ain't it. That's just another commercial. Once again, school shooting, Madison, Wisconsin. Abundant Life Christian Church. We have no information. All right, this appears to be the quick trip where we're watching the raw footage from. So all of the reporters seem to be gathered right over here. Let me see where this is compared to the school. Okay, so the incident happened here, and they're keeping everybody back to at least here. So this is where, when we're watching that, where they just get an idea of how far back they're being kept. Let's go back. Let's see if there's more. Live shooting. Okay, here we go. More raw footage. Let's just put this up as we await the press conference and any information that we can get on what's happening. Again, this is raw footage from the Abundant Life Christian School shooting outside Madison, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah, Chief Barnes is expected to come out here any minute now. We're still waiting on him. We were told about 12:15 he'd be coming out, but we're just waiting a couple more minutes, it seems like, for Chief Barnes to give the media a briefing here. We have media from really all over the state covering the shooting that just took place right up the road here, just a mile or so. And as the parents here are still showing up, going to the parking lot at the Junior Health Clinic, at the FSM Health Clinic across the street, trying to reunite with their students.
Why is this not even trending on Twitter?
I can't hear you, Evan. I don't know what you're saying.
There we go. 12. It's trending at 12.
No, that's another reporter.
All right.
Yes.
All right, while we wait for this, let's jump over to Twitter. Let's go to the Madison thread. Let's see what the absolute latest stuff popping up on Twitter is about what's happening. Again, a school shooting. All right, hold on. So again, these are the early stages, the early moments of information being generated from a reported school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. Let's see. What is this? Samantha. All right. Per Fox. School shooting in Madison, Wisconsin at Abundant Life Christian School. It's K through 12. Police are saying to stay away from the area, praying for the victims and their families. A nice little gif of Madison, Wisconsin. Look at that. Active shooting. Let's see, what else do we have here? Active shooting at Abundant Life Christian School on the east side of Madison. All right. All right, we got some video here. Let's see what this is all about. All right, well, we always get that. That's just a response. Oh, you guys got to be kidding me. All right, well. Is there anything else? All right, that's just some pictures of the response. Madison, Wisconsin. Let's see what this is.
Paramedics is right here behind me. You see you got Madison police vehicles there. There's a fire truck there. Paramedics are there as well. Again, this is a health clinic, so maybe some they could help here with the doctors and nurses who work at this clinic. But the parents I've tried to talk to, didn't have time for a reporter. Understandably, they are on their way to figure out if they can reunite with their child in this very frantic moment for them. But they are just trying to figure out what's next, where they're going. As I mentioned, they've been told to come here. Some of them probably aware that they're supposed to come to the SSM clinic, and they just walk down the road and they're running towards the school.
All right.
You see across the street looks to be like a group
stuff. God. I got a 15-year-old. I know that this isn't, these moments here. We're waiting to hear what the story is. I mean, we're hearing about wounded. We're not hearing about any fatalities. It's a bunch of little kids, kindergartners through 12th grade, one of these big Midwestern, salt of the earth Christian schools. We're waiting to hear. Okay. Nope, we don't need that. All right, here's a statement from the Madison Police Department, Madison, Wisconsin. Here you go. We've got to go. This is like the most official thing that we can talk about here. Madison Police. The Madison Police Department is investigating a school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. Multiple injuries have been reported. This remains an active and ongoing investigation. More information will be released as it is available. Currently need people to avoid the area. Roads will be blocked off along 4900 Buckeye Road. Drivers and community members are asked to find alternative routes in travel. Is needed in the area. Media staging at Quick Trip on Buckeye Road. Okay, we saw that. People asking for prayers. All right. Let's see. ABC News. Let's see how ABC News is.
Police are on the scene of a shooting at a Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. Madison police are telling us that the shooter is deceased, but there are reports of multiple other injuries. Authorities say this investigation is active and they are urging people to avoid the area. We're still working to find out more details, but we know the scene of this shooting is the Abundant Life Christian School. That's a private academy for grades kindergarten through 12, with about 390 students there in Madison, Wisconsin. Let's bring in ABC News senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky, along with former FBI agent Brad Garrett. So, Aaron, first to you, what do we know right now about what's happening in Madison?
Not much, other than it's still an active scene. Terry, police in Madison told me a little while ago the shooter is down. It's unclear exactly what that meant, and that there were multiple injuries, perhaps more than a half dozen. The status of the injured was not immediately clear. I know police were responding to this Christian school along with a rescue task force. That means that police were going in to clear the classrooms room by room inside the school with EMTs so they could provide immediate care if necessary, and they arranged different levels of trauma care outside in the parking lot area. But it's still an active scene, police there, but they do believe the shooter is down.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. And Brad, at this point, the whole country knows what.
All right, we don't need that. I'm sure Brad has a lot of interesting stuff to tell us. But yeah, again, lately my new kick is words matter, right? The way things are being phrased. I'm just trying to. I don't want to say that I'm walking around on eggshells, but try to choose words more carefully. And I'm pointing out when others don't seem to be as thoughtful on this subject as I am. Good example is they're referring to Brian Thompson as a healthcare executive when he's not. He's an insurance company executive. Okay, words matter. Make you feel a different way about this stuff. We talked earlier about what a chief of police says that one of the shooters is down. Then CNN counters with shooter is down. Those are two very different statements, at least as far as they allow us to decipher them. I just don't think they need to mention Christian schools. All I'm saying, it's the Abundant Life School. Everybody so far, it's Christian school, because they're thinking about what the next story is, right? After we get a body count and after, everybody's done mourning, what else can we extrapolate from this story that we can keep people divided? It's a Christian school. What does that mean? It's war on Christians, or see, these Christians, they're crazy. They're killing each other. Whatever the argument is, I just don't think it's necessary. Right now, we're talking about a school shooting, the Abundant Life School in Madison. Doesn't matter what these kids. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. It's a school shooting. It's K through 12. And I don't know how I am supposed to just do a normal show when this is how we start. For crying out loud. I got so much dumb shit I want to talk about today. And now I'm in a mood. Now I'm all up in my bag. Get out of here. That's me talking to myself. That's me trying to change the mood. Jeff makes a good point. It's the actual name of the school, which is why it actually is the name of the school, Abundant Life Christian School. It's an interesting point. This is the conundrum. What is the play here? No, but that is what it's called. Or to recognize that maybe you just shifted a little. What is the right call? I don't know. It is. It's a Christian school. All right. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I don't know. It's a school. There are kids. Would it change anything if it was a Muslim school? Would it change anything if it was a Catholic school? No, it's a school or a public school. Fuck them public school kid. That's not how we think. I don't know. Because you're already seeing it. I'm already seeing it. That's why I'm triggered. I'm easily triggered. We know this. That's why I do this show every day at noon. I'm easily triggered. If I don't get this stuff out here, I'm going to be a wreck for all the people in my life. All right. Oh, my God. Jesus. Early reports, 3 dead, including the shooter. 7 injured in school shooting. That means 2 people are dead. Two innocents, including the shooter. We're calling it 1. 7 injured. Okay. All right. There we go. So that's how we start today's show. How about some AI music to cleanse the palate? Some license-free. What the hell is this? Yeah, this is the only Christmas music I can use. It's got to be completely made up on the spot by some computer that lives in my laptop. Isn't that how AI works? Thought it was. Anyway, yeah, I just can't with the bad. Thank you, Restream. Appreciate you. All right, I want to get away from this story. I got so much fun stuff I want to get into today, so we're gonna segue away from this terrible story. School shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. We've got 3 dead, including the shooter, and 7 injured. Okay, so can we all just? And I guess we'll give you updates. Of course we will. Of course we'll give you updates. It's just gotta cleanse the palate. It's time to get stupid, which is what we do here on the Rant. Hi, Pugs Moran. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. It is me performing a stream of consciousness. What is that? That's just, well, somebody pointed this out. The same thing that Trump does. Trump is basically a stream of consciousness artist. That's why he gets in trouble. Yes. I am as well. And I do this every day where I just start talking. Just whatever thought is next in my head, I say it. I don't care what happens. I'm not really worried about it because I'm not an asshole. Okay, so I'm not worried about something accidentally. Oh no, they all found out that I hate Jews. Right? It's not gonna be a part. So stream of consciousness, I start talking about the day. We break it down in 4 quarters. It's more from my personal edification than yours, but maybe it works for you too. The quarters allow me to keep talking and know where I am and not just get lost in the weeds. First quarter, we call that antecedently on this day. That's to look at the day's history. Second quarter, birthdays. People born on this day. Are they cool? Or do we say screw them? Quarter 3, deads. People who died. We list people who passed away on this day. But here's what we do. This is the interesting part. They died on this day. We look at their life and we decide, where did they go? Did they ascend to God's glory in eternal heaven? Or did they get sent down to burn, deal with the devil? Bargain with your maker, son of a bitch. We decide. We stand in judgment. That's what we call quarter 3, deads. Quarter 4 is all the hot topics, the trends, everything. Drones. We're gonna talk drones. We're gonna spend a lot of time talking about drones because I spent the entire weekend talking about drones. To myself, basically, which means me screaming at my laptop. Why don't they have any answers? The drone story is bigger than ever, and we're gonna cover that from top to bottom. I also promised you on Friday when we ran out of time that I would get into the whole Duke lacrosse players thing. Didn't have time. Really want to stretch out on that one, talk about that. And so we'll do that as well. And we were covering the Hana Kobayashi story for a bunch of weeks. That's the Hawaiian girl who went to LA and vanished. Whole world went looking for her. Even her dad. Her dad killed himself. Her dad thought, nope, this ain't. I can't live in a world where my little baby, my little honey bear, where she just got abducted by crazy cartel members. He thought the worst. So he killed himself. Couldn't find his daughter. Yeah, she turned up. She just couldn't with all them. That's her excuse. She just couldn't. She disappeared. She's like, I purposely disappeared. Yeah, well, your dad's dead. Anyway, there are so many more details. Oh, good Lord. Now we're not afraid. We're not like protecting her anymore. We're talking about who this psychopath is. She's nuts. This Hannah Kobayashi. She is nuts. We'll get into that. Jamie Foxx. We've been talking about Jamie Foxx, how much we love Jamie Foxx. I do anyway. I love Jamie Foxx. I'm glad he survived whatever that brain rot incident he had from a year ago. He got into a fight this weekend, a fist fight in Mr. Chow's. Yep, Jamie Foxx is back. He's healthy. He's throwing hands in a fancy Beverly Hills restaurant on Friday night. Jamie Foxx. We'll tell you all about that. Plus, whole bunch more stuff to get to. Chris Rock on SNL. We got stuff to get to. A new viral song. Oh my goodness. Do we have the new Oliver Anthony? Remember Oliver Anthony from a couple of years ago? Oliver Anthony, that guy, good song. I thought he was great. That was a great song that I haven't really heard from him much. Him and the Hawk Tuah girl, I think, are touring the country. But that's all right. That's all right. Anyway, we got the new one. They're saying he's the new Oliver Anthony. He's going viral, and we'll check it out. So we'll get into all of that today, I promise. No time. I don't have any meetings today, so we can, go as long as we need to. I got a Bears game tonight. Jesus. Yeah, enjoy, everybody. Enjoy watching my football team once again completely shit the bed on national TV. Why not? Let's get ready for it. Got nothing. Our offensive line is like complete. It was bad 3 weeks ago. And now all of those guys are injured. It was bad at the start of the season. Those guys have been on IR for weeks. Poor Caleb. Oh, my God. If I'm Brian Flores, and Brian Flores wants to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears next year, Brian Flores is one of the top candidates. They say going to come in and change that culture. Brian Flores, defensive coordinator of Minnesota Vikings. If I'm Brian Flores, I am bringing the fucking house. I'm going to make the Chicago Bears ownership remember me come hiring time in a couple of months. That's what I'm looking for. Just don't hurt your quarterback, Brian. Just don't hurt your quarterback. If Caleb's going to be your future quarterback, don't hurt your quarterback. What else? So we got that. Small talk. All right, here we go. Small talk segment. You know how much I love TV. I love my TV. I'll talk about it. I have been in a television hole, a dark place for about 6 months. Every now and again, a new show will pop up and I'll get all excited. For instance, Hulu and FX stepping up a couple of months ago with Say Nothing. So good. Show of the year, if you're asking me. Or is it? Because I discovered a new show over the weekend. There is nothing better than discovering a new show and then just being like, hey, my team ain't playing this weekend. I didn't have a Notre Dame game to watch. I didn't have a UT game to watch. I didn't have a Bears game to watch. I discovered this new series on Friday night because a friend of mine, a girl who I really respect, she was telling me, she's like, have you seen this? And I'm like, no. And she's like, you got to watch this. This show is nuts. And I'm like, yes. I love, because I respect her. She's a smart, cool chick. So I watched this show. And I watched the first episode, and then I watched the second episode. There are like 8 episodes, I think, in the first season. I killed the whole first season this weekend. I am totally in. What show am I talking about? It's been around for a couple of months. They debuted on Hulu back in October. It's called Rivals. Have you guys ever even heard of Rivals? It's friggin' brilliant. Here's how I would describe Rivals, okay? Rivals is, if you loved Succession, and I loved Succession, Rivals is how Logan Roy, that Brian Cox, I think, played him, the old man, the guy who everyone was jockeying to succeed as chairman of Roy Star Waystar. This show, Rivals, it can be, if you wanted to kind of frame it, how Logan Roy made his money. How Logan Roy in the 1980s just dominated British television and it also forced me. I spent a lot of time on Wikipedia trying to figure out how British television works because it isn't like American television. In America, we had 3 networks, NBC, ABC, CBS. There was also like Westinghouse and Dumont, but really we had 3 networks, and those 3 networks were coast to coast. And anywhere in the country, you could see NBC in your local affiliate. We had that. Over there in England, they don't have that. They got BBC One and BBC Two, which is owned by the government. Then they got another channel that's owned by the government, and then they got a thing called independent TV. Independent TV in England is regional. So who's going to produce the TV for the north of England? You. Who's going to produce the TV for the south of England? You. And if one of them has a hit regionally, those then get picked up by the other. And that's how you get like big shows. I know it's weird. Here's a way to look at it. And I know it's probably interesting to nobody but me because I love this kind of stuff. If you're familiar with the old comedy series SCTV, okay, I never understood this until this weekend watching this show. I always thought that the concept of SCTV, a little local station in Mellonville who actually produced their own programming and put it out there, I thought that was a gag because we didn't have that in America. That's not something I thought that, but Canada is very similar to British with their Canadian. That was a real thing. Like SCTV is a real thing in that there are these local regional broadcasters who produced their own shows. There were real Johnny LaRue's in the north of England and in the south of England. There were real Edith Prickleys and Guy. Anyway, I'd never really got what SCTV located in Mellonville was because by the American network way of looking at it, it didn't make any sense. What do you mean they make their own shows? But it's real. That's how it was in England. So that's what Rivals is about. It's about these 2 guys and they're rivals for this license to be the regional broadcaster. That's the other thing in England. You can be like NBC and you can have all of these hits and you've got the license for the south of England, which includes London. And then in 10 years, you can be challenged for your license by somebody who wants to get into the TV game. So it's crazy. It's nuts. Anyway, the show is called Rivals and it's on Hulu and it is so good. I'm going to show you the trailer. We're going to watch the trailer. I devoured this show, 8 episodes. I couldn't stop watching. I think I watched 4 on Friday night, 3 on Saturday. And the last one, I know I watched the last one last night on Sunday night after the Bills Lions game. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, here, let me show you this. If you haven't seen it, you are welcome. You're going to love it. This is such a fun show. It's much more fun. Trust me. It's much more fun than the last one that I suggested to you, which is Say Nothing, which is about the IRA bombings and all that. No, this is fun. 1980s battle for British TV. Think of it as Logan Roy, how he made his money.
1986. You can have whatever you want.
Come to the Cotswolds.
Exciting things are going to happen to us in a place like this.
Tony Barry. If you don't start spending some of that fortune making decent television, you're going to lose your business.
Rupert Campbell Black, champion show jumper put out to pasture. It's an arrogant brat. Having an opponent
Makes life much more exciting. Oh my God, it's him.
I think I've had this dream.
Rupert can't resist the conquest.
Despite your money, you are a lonely man.
You don't care who you hurt to get what you want, do you?
I want you to stay away from my daughter. There's something different about Daggy. I appear to be a little stuck.
Welcome to the Cotswolds.
I didn't ask to come here. They're all horses and dogs and houses and cars and their wives. They haven't had an orgasm since Pony Club Camp.
You know you're dancing with the devil.
I'm gonna harder than that if you want to beat me. Game on.
Oh my God. It's so good. Oh, by the way, now I'll tell you the rest. This is all true. These are all real people whose names have been changed and novelized. There was a writer in the Cotswolds, which were here. Hold on, sorry. Cotswolds, we're hearing a lot about those because that's where all the wealthy American actors are moving to. Yeah, Ellen and Portia just moved to the Cotswolds. So this is a look at the Cotswolds, which is kind of like the Hamptons, if you will, or maybe Palm Springs, whatever. It is the English countryside where the landed gentry and the lords and all that, and rock stars and actors and all those people live. You know, your Elton Johns live in the Cotswolds. So these characters are all. There was a woman in the Cotswolds who's portrayed in the series as the best character in the series. She's the best character, so of course she's the one writing down all this stuff. In the 80s, a woman just started writing about all of her neighbors and the crazy stuff, and she changed her names and she turned it into a romance kind of novel, and it became a huge hit in England. And that's what this is. So who are these characters? They are a mixture of Rupert Murdoch, Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell is Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who was a publishing and media guy. And most interesting, the lead character, who is like, he's like Justin Timberlake with nobility, he's like the character of his name is Rupert Campbell Black. Okay. He's based on a dude that I never really heard of before, but he's supposed to be the star of this. The Cad, the like polo champion that like every woman drops their panties for, is Andrew Parker Bowles, who was the Queen of England's ex-husband, who's like portrayed as just this like super fuck monster. Just everybody, like just every girl wants them, and it's fun, man. It's fun. And I learned a lot about TV. So Rivals, as you head into Christmas and all that, you can have time on your hand. You guys will enjoy Rivals on Hulu. And, it's all 80s stuff. The music is great, and it's all drugs and sex. And those people, those British rich people, British fancy people, they're perverts. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, what do you say we get started? I will mention that this show does run on your gratuities and your tips. If you want to help the show out, you can drop a little something in either the Venmo or the Cash App. Whoa. Yikes. If you're today's big tipper, you get to be tomorrow's executive producer. So thank you so much. No executive producer today. Very sad, I know. Daddy's got to go shopping, but we'll make it. We'll make it. What else do I need to mention? What do you say we get started with the rant? What do you say? Oh, do we have it? 5 dead, including shooter. The number is going up. Madison, Wisconsin, Abundant Life Christian School. Happened just as we started. The show is, how am I supposed to vacillate emotionally between 5 dead kids, 4 dead, I shouldn't say that again. Words matter. 5 dead. We don't know if they're teachers. We don't know if they're police. Not that anybody is better than the other. But in this particular case, I think it would be a little bit worse if they were kids. So let's, all right, that number is going to go up. Let's get started with today's show, okay? Enough of this nonsense. It is nonsense. I'm sorry. I don't mean to marginalize that. Look, I don't mean to marginalize that. I got a 15-year-old kid that goes to a high school in Texas. So, these are kinds of things that I take seriously. So I'm just trying to get myself in the headspace to put on a show. Let's get started. It is the Rant. It is the 16th day of December, year of our Lord, 2024. Did you know 351 days have been torn from the calendar of 2024? 351. There's only 15 till New Year's. 15 days left in this year. So get those New Year's Eve plans started. Let's do quarter one. Call it antecedently on this day. It's a look back at this day in history. You might just call it this day in history, or possibly even previously on December the 16th. All right. Antecedently, on this day. What do we have here? 1773, the American Revolution, the Boston Tea Party. Members of the Sons of Liberty. Sons of Liberty. Who do we know for the Sons of? We know Sam Adams. We know Patrick Henry. That's it. I don't know. There was probably like 200 of them. We know 2. We remember 2. And only because one of them made a beer. And the other one is on flags. Said something that was on, right? Patrick Henry, give me liberty, give me death. That was him. Is that him? Please be him. Moving on. It's him. Antecedently on this day in 1826, Benjamin W. Edwards rides into Mexican-controlled Nacogdoches. I've lived in Texas since 2001. I can pronounce Nacogdoches. I can also pronounce Waxahachie. Benjamin W. Edwards rides into Mexican-controlled Nacogdoches, Texas, and declares himself ruler of the Republic of Fredonia. That's right, the short-lived Fredonia. Antecedently on this day in 1826. Antecedently on this day in the year 1942, the Holocaust. Oh, God, bring the tone down. Heinrich Himmler orders that the Roma candidates for extermination be deported to Auschwitz. It wasn't just Jews, it's just pretty much anybody they deemed undesirable. The Roma, you know what the Romas are? They're a big thing in Texas, but maybe not Dallas. I don't really know of a gypsy, more colloquially known as gypsies. Gypsies. Is it gypsy? I always think of the way Borat deals with gypsies. Where I grew up in Chicago, the southwest side, bastion for gypsies, bastion for Romani. They were everywhere. You'd see them I went to a restaurant once, and it was like the birthday for the king of the gypsies, and it was insane in there. They had goats and chickens, and no goats and chickens, but gypsies. Here's something that I trouble myself with. Now I'm a very open-minded guy. I like the gays. I like the blacks. I like the Jews. I like everybody that's different than me. I don't really out of hand, have a problem with anybody that's different than the way than what I'm familiar with or whatever my background is. I'm cool with it. And I think I got my black friend. I was saying the other day, for the first time in my life, I have gone a stretch without a black friend. My black best friend died like 20 years ago, and haven't gotten over that. Miss you, Doc. But yeah, so I think I got my black friend. More on that to come. You'll be meeting him. Point is this. I got a problem with gypsies. I really do. I think I got a problem with gypsies. There was a gypsy family in my neighborhood growing up, and they were the worst. Not because they were gypsies. They were the worst because they stole bikes, and then they stole car radios at first. Somebody was stealing a bunch of car radios out of the student parking lot in high school. Guess who it was? The gypsies. It was. I don't know, man. If you grew up around gypsies, you might be like, you might understand why it was so funny when Borat was like, he's a gypsy. Because you can't trust him. At least that's been my life experience. They seem to be a culture that is literally based on the idea of taking whatever you can from the stupidest dupes in a community and then moving on. That's what the Romani people are. They're travelers. They don't stay in one place. Why? Because they can't. Because they've robbed everybody and they've taken everybody. I don't know. That's just the reality. Call me a racist. I can't listen to the Pug stream anymore because he doesn't like gypsies. And say I didn't like them. I said my life experience has led me to not trust them. I probably also said that I don't like them. I don't know if I mean that. So I've seen some hot gypsy girls. And that's another problem. That's another problem. Their women are way too attractive and way too schooled in the art of deception and manipulation. God. Anyway, I'm not, it was on this day that the Holocaust people, a lot of people think in the way I think, and that's terrible. I'm just saying. I grew up in a place where gypsies were going to steal your bike. That's all I'm saying. We're going to move on. Terrible, terrible, terrible what happened on this day with the gypsies. I'm just saying. Look, I think that's something that we should also mention. You know, the concentration camps, they were just Jewish people, retarded people, gay people, gypsies. What else? What else they put in there? And I'm not trying. Oh, now I'm in trouble. Pugs is like saying, why are the Jews all the ones always upset? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it was on this day that they started putting gypsies in Auschwitz. And it's a terrible, terrible thing. Jesus, this is a stream of consciousness. Maybe I am an asshole. All right. On this day, antecedently in the year 1960, United Airlines, a DC-8 and a TWA Lockheed Super Constellation collide over Staten Island, New York, killing all 128 people on board and 6 more on the ground. I don't do this. I used to do all the plane crashes. I can't do the plane crashes anymore because I come to realize that there are plane crashes all over every day in history. Every day in history, if you went through a list of things that happened, every single day has at least 3 plane crashes. So I had to stop doing it. It just wasn't good for me. But this is my ultimate nightmare. 2 planes colliding over Staten Island like a suburb, people falling out of the plane, bodies crashing through your roof. Oh my God. No. Yes. Yikes. That is the ultimate nightmare. Well, I'm done. I can't do anymore. That's it. 1960. We are all done. Let's move on. This show is taking way too long. Let's do some birthdays. These are people celebrating birthdays. I don't know if it's actually their birthday. I didn't call their moms. I didn't run down the county clerks in the area they were born. I'm just going with published reports. So here we go. Do we wish them a happy birthday or not? Birthdays. Oh, guys. Is this your birthday? Whoo! Now, I'm very, very proud of my birthday. My birthday, of course, we have the moon landing. My birthday. But I share a birthday with one of the greatest men I share a birthday with Alexander the Great. And I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That ain't Mel Torme. You know what I mean? I got Alexander the Great right out of the box. Like the first birthday listed on my birthday is Alexander the Great. First one. So that's good. Today, if today is your birthday, man, you've got some ballers, like absolute unforgettable killers of their chosen fields are celebrating birthdays today. Let's see who among them is king of the day. Born on this day, 1770. How are we going to beat this guy? Oh, we might. How are we going to beat this guy? Born in 1770, Ludwig von Beethoven. Beethoven, born on this day, 1970. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Born on this day, 1775. You can't name me a bigger women's author in the history of women's author. You want to throw some nonsense at me? I'll just end the discussion by saying on this day in 1775, Jane Austen was born. We got Beethoven, king of the worst music ever made. I'm sorry, classical music is bad music. I mean, maybe it's not bad. It ain't my thing. So it's bad. And Jane Austen, right? Never read Sense and Sensibility. Are you kidding? Emma? No, thank you. I don't need that. What's the other one she did? She did Sense and Sensibility. And I don't know, whatever. If it was a movie starring Emma Thompson or Keira Knightley, Jane Austen wrote it. Born on this day in 1775. Born on this day in 1917. All right, so we got Beethoven, classical music. Name me one bigger. We got Jane Austen, women's literature. Name me one bigger. And now 1917. Science fiction writer, Arthur C. Clarke. Name me one bigger. Arthur C. Clarke, born on this day in 1917. Name me one bigger. How about born on this day, 1928? Also a science fiction writer, and I think bigger than Arthur C. Clarke because he's one of my favorite. Philip K. Dick, born on this day in 1928. Oh my God, Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy. You know what I would say? If you're looking for something cool to watch, have you ever seen the Amazon Prime series Man in the High Castle? It's an alternative history. It supposes, what if the Nazis and the Japanese won World War II? What kind of world would that look like? And that's the universe that Man in the High Castle exists in. Philip K. Dick, Man in the High Castle. How about Scanner Darkly? You ever seen that? That's a movie. It started out as a book. Blade Runner, one of his stories. Total Recall, a Philip K. Dick story. Minority Report, a Philip K. Dick story. Still K. Dick. He's the shit. All right, let's keep going. We got biggins. Biggins. Beethoven, Jane Austen, Arthur C. Clarke, Philip K. Dick. Born on this day in 1943. How about a king of television? Stephen Bochco. Name me one bigger. I can name bigger. I can name bigger than Bochco. But Bochco is big. Bochco did a lot of garbage. If I'm being honest, wasn't a fan of a lot of Bochco. But Bochco's first show, Hill Street Blues, is the mold breaker. You want to stop. I make the argument, a lot of people, when we have the conversation about peak TV, a lot of people say it started with The Sopranos and it ended with The Sopranos or whatever. And it ended with Breaking Bad or whatever. That's most common. I think peak TV actually bubbled up in the 80s. I think there were two TV shows in the 1980s that were very good and very well received, not super popular, but they were the kinds of shows that should have been on HBO. They were the kind of shows that should have been on Netflix. They were kind of shows. In those two shows, one was a Stephen Bochco show, Hill Street Blues. Hill Street Blues it changed the way cop shows are. The other is St. Elsewhere and Hill Street Blues. I believe those are actually the beginning of peak TV. Stephen Bochco, born on this day in 1943. Born on this day in 1949. Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. Singer of ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons. Born on this day in 1949. He's awesome. I've met him a couple of times. He's very, very... yeah, well, he was good. He's an icon. He's Texas. He's ZZ Top. He's Billy Gibbons. Happy birthday. Born on this day in 1949. Born on this day in 1961. I mean, my God, we got Beethoven born on this day. We got some energy on this day. We got Beethoven born on this day. We got Jane Austen born on this day. We got Arthur C. Clarke, Philip Dick, Stephen Bochco, Billy Gibbons. We got Bill Hicks born on this day. Bill Hicks, in my humble opinion, the best stand-up comedy who has ever grabbed that microphone. Bill Hicks changed my life. Bill Hicks as a comedian, he was out there. He was talking about things in a way that nobody had ever talked. He was talking about subjects that nobody had ever talked about, and he was blowing minds by being able to be hysterically funny. God, he was great. And I don't know when this happens. Cancer, died incredibly young, stomach cancer. I was lucky enough to know Bill and to get to know him on a bit of a social way, not to any great extent. He was a regular and a very good friend with my second radio host who I worked for, a guy by the name of Kevin Matthews in Chicago. I want to play a little Bill Hicks on his birthday today. I don't know that this is the funniest thing that he ever did, but this is him, man. This is what an hour of watching Bill Hicks is supposed to leave you with, and I don't know. He's one of the greats. Another great Texan. Born and raised, of course, Houston. Discovered by Rodney Dangerfield. And debatably one of the three greatest stand-up comedians in history. Bill Hicks, here we go. This is Bill Hicks. It's just a ride. A lot of the way I look at the world comes from Bill Hicks. Here we go.
There is a point. Is there a point? Let's find a point. The world is like a ride at an amusement park. Oh, yeah. Something on my. Other people. Don't. Kill. Cut him off. After the tribe. I think. Wrong. But we always kill those good guys trying to tell us that, you know. And let the it doesn't matter. It does. It's just a ride. We can change it anytime. It's only choice. Job and safe. You guys here? Big up like that. Here's what we can do. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense, instead spend it feeding, clothing, educating the poor. But many times over, we can sing together, inner and outer, forever.
The great Bill Hicks. His Funny Firm in Chicago. It's one of his most watched videos. It was my host Kevin Matthews had brought Bill into town for a show at the Funny Firm, and there was a catchphrase on our radio show which was "Free Bird," and it's taken off nationally. But it started on our radio show back in the 80s, or Kevin's radio show. I wasn't on the show yet, but whenever you hear somebody yell "Free Bird" at a concert, I can tell you that started back in the 1980s with Kevin Matthews. It's his joke. The Carpenters were coming here. I can tell you the origin of the joke. The Carpenters were coming to town, or some version of I guess Karen Carpenter was dead, and Robert Carpenter was traveling and playing the Carpenters' music, and they had a new Karen Carpenter singing, and the suggestion was scream out "Freebird," request that they sing "Freebird." It's a stupid joke, but it took off because everybody in Chicago for 10 years started yelling "Freebird" at concerts, and then that took over. And it doesn't matter what the joke is that you're so oblivious to what concert you're at that you think it might be Lynyrd Skynyrd. That's the joke. And it's dumb. And you're supposed to do it at Barbra Streisand. You're supposed to do it at, Anyway, somebody yelled "Freebird" at the Funny Firm show that Bill Hicks was headlining, and Bill went off. Oh my God. Just went fucking nuts on the audience member. Bill Hicks, he's dead. Man, what a brilliant, brilliant guy. Bill Hicks, born on this day in 1961. It's just a ride. Born on this, by the way, if you want to familiarize yourself with him, I would say Bill Hicks Dangerous, Bill Hicks Relentless, Bill Hicks Revelations. Start there. All right, that's going to do it. Now, William Perry, The Fridge, born on this day in 1962. He doesn't fit with Bill Hicks and Beethoven and Botchko and Arthur C. Clarke and Philip K. Dick and Jane Austen, but he's a big part of my childhood. William the Refrigerator Perry, born on this day in 1962. And all I can tell you is whole bunch of us are shocked here. I'm sorry, I know the camera's off. Whole bunch of us are shocked that he's still alive. Didn't think old Fridge was going to make it. Happy birthday. Yeah, I know, Frank. I got it. I had the camera turned off. Let's keep going here. What should we do? Let's do the deads. All right, we'll do the deads. Quarter 3, these are the people who've died, people who've passed away on this day. We talk a little bit about them, whether we think they went to heaven or hell. We call it the deads. Quickly, dead on this day, 1980, Colonel Sanders. Ooh, it's a tough one because he's supposedly a racist who, stolen valor and all that. He wasn't no colonel. Cosplaying as a colonel, not liking black people. That's gonna get you to heaven. But that chicken. Do you guys remember Kentucky Fried Chicken in the 1970s? Hey, some of you oldsters, you might remember it even before that. Kentucky, look, with all due respect, Kentucky Fried Chicken started to suck right around like 1980. They got really small. Like, where's Kentucky Fried Chicken getting those little idiot birds that, like, this is the size of a chicken breast? Are you kidding me? This is the size of a Kentucky Fried Chicken breast. It's like, what are you doing to these birds? These are pigeons. This is not chicken. Anyway. Didn't used to be like that. Kentucky Fried Chicken in the 1970s, granted, my hands were a lot smaller, so maybe they seemed bigger, but no, they were bigger. Colonel even said so in his last. Towards the end of the Colonel's life, he's like, he called it vanilla slop with wallpaper flavor. So he said it happened to his original recipe masterpiece. So where's he go? Does he go to heaven or he go to hell? He'd probably go to hell. He's a rich guy from Kentucky pretending to be a colonel. All right. Dead on this day in 1980. Dead on this day in 1985. Here's one. Big Paulie Castellano. Big Paulie. Paul Castellano was murdered on this day, 1985, in New York City out in front of Sparks Steakhouse. One of the legendary gangsta hits of recent memory. Certainly one of the last really big ones. Paulie Castellano took over for Carlo Gambino, head of the Gambino crime family, one of the 5 families in New York. Paulie Castellano was not who the folks wanted. The folks did not want Paulie. By folks, I mean the capos and the street soldiers and all that in the Gambino crime family back in 1985. But Paul ascended because Paul had made himself the most important person insofar as the legitimate business side of the mafia went. Paul was very close with Carlo Gambino, advising him on his money and all that kind of stuff. Paul Castellano ascended to the godfather role of the Gambino crime family with the intent of taking them legit, or at the very least, dialing back all of the crazy hoodlum gangsta shit that, the Gambino street guys were making their nut on monthly. Paulie says you can't knock over jewelry stores anymore. Well, how is the jewelry thief in the company going to, in the family going to make his money now? So they didn't like Paulie. They didn't like Paulie's changes. And most notably, one of the captains, a guy by the name of John Gotti, didn't like this. John Gotti felt that his guy, his capo regime, John Gotti wasn't yet a captain. His capo, what is his name? I can't think of his name. He felt his guy got passed over for Paul. So Gotti had an axe to grind. Gotti and some dudes staked out Sparks Steakhouse on this night all these years ago in 1985. And as Paul Castellano, I think did he get his steak at Sparks or did he not get his steak? Was he coming out after the steak and then he got gacked? Gack. Anyway, right there. You can find the pictures. Pictures are all over. They're some of the most famous pictures in gangster history. You got the blood stains in front of Sparks Steakhouse in Manhattan with Paulie Castellano. Then you got, of course, Albert Anastasia with his throat slashed in the barber chair. Well, yeah, it's another good one. On this day, Paul Castellano is whacked. I don't care if he tried to take him legit. He was still a gangsta and a godfather. He goes to hell. Dead on this day in 1985, Big Paulie Castellano. On this day, dead, 2005, John Spencer. He's going to heaven. I'm putting him in heaven. I am still in the middle of a slow rewatching of The West Wing. And I'm sorry, but Leo McGarry. I love me some Leo McGarry. I'll tell you where I am, for those of you who also are familiar with the run of West Wing. Leo's still alive. Mm-hmm. It was on this day in 2005 that the actor John Spencer, who plays Chief of Staff to President Jebediah Bartlett, Leo McGarry, John Spencer died on this day in 2005. And he died in the middle of shooting a season of The West Wing. So they had to write that into the script. They had to write the Leo is dead episode, and it comes out of nowhere because he died in real life out of nowhere. And it's like, oh. John Spencer, we're putting him in heaven. He's Leo McGarry. All right, that's going to do it. Those are the first 3 quarters of today's show. Let's get back into what this show is about. I will remind you, it is non-political talk radio for normal Americans. It airs every Monday through Friday, right after. What? What was that? Right after what? Right after I wake up and get my ass down here. What it does. A reminder, you can support the show anytime you want. Drop a little something in the Cash App or the Venmo. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right, let's see here. Let's get into the big stories. Guys, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm seriously going to lose my shit. Like 2 weeks ago, I was like, guys, there's this drone situation and nobody seems to be saying it. And then last week, I'm like, guys, what is going on with the drone situation? Guys, here I sit on Monday. What do I, Chicken Little? What? I actually ran it. Did you have this? Did you run it? Well, maybe you're not like me. But when I saw a lot of people this weekend. It's the holidays and, open housing and all that stuff. Oh, sure, I'll come by for a drink. All of that kind of stuff. Saw a lot of people. Like half the people are completely obsessed with the drone story. And then the other half of people have no fucking idea what is happening. And my mind is blown by this. Happened 3 times over the weekend where I was with a group of people, and it was like you had to start from Drones 101 and tell these people the story and watch them go, wait, I didn't hear anything about this. And then you're like, well, you obviously don't look at the news because it's everywhere on the news. You're watching Cake Boss Christmas edition. That's why you have no fucking ideas. But anyway, guys. All right, so here's what I got. I got 3 days worth of just like things I want to say about the drone situation. So we're going to run through this. We've got some news, we've got some video, we got all kinds of stuff. So we're going to spend a little bit of time trying to break this down. I don't even know if I have a new theory. I want to see yours in the chat room. Joe Rogan ain't helping. He's out there. Like a week ago, remember? I'm like, well, there's this story online. I just don't know that it's responsible to talk about it. Right? You might kind of touch on. Well, Joe Rogan just puts it out there. That's why he's a winner and I'm a loser. All right, so we're going to go through this. Let me see. I don't even know. In no particular order. Drone stuff. HMS Secretary Mayorkas, which sounds like a lovely vacation destination. HMS, Homeland Security guy, HMS, Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security, what is it? Anyway, Mayorkas says shoot him down. He's like, hey, I'm in charge. Why don't you guys shoot him down? What is that? What do you mean? What do you mean maybe we should shoot him down? All right, so then now that's Mayorkas. That's Mayorkas, Homeland Security, shoot him down, okay? Now we've got a New Jersey state senator. Let me tell you about what this guy said over the weekend. This New Jersey state senator, he's been in all these briefings. He's a helicopter pilot himself. Here's what he says. He says, the truth is out there. They're just too scared to tell us. This is an elected official, okay? The truth is out there. They're just too scared to tell us. A New Jersey state senator has bluntly accused the government of hiding the truth about the mysterious drones flying over the Garden State, saying the feds are too fearful of how people will react to the truth. I'm with him. I mean, I am with him and I'm with the government. Like if I was the government, I'd be like, yeah, that is exactly it. We don't want to tell people that there's this happening and that we need to find it before this time or else, how will people react to that? Not well. We are not good people. Do you see what happened with the coronavirus? That was, you want to talk about, a false flag test. I don't believe in that shit. But if that's any indication of how we, the people of America, are going to react to a real emergency, we are cooked. So don't tell us anything. It's probably what the White House is thinking. Don't tell them anything. So let's get back to this New Jersey state senator. He's right, though. They know. I believe the upper echelon of our government know exactly what is happening here. It just hasn't trickled down because of, security clearances and stuff like that. That's my thought. I'll expand on my thought as we cover this. Whatever these drones are doing, again, this is a New Jersey state senator. Whatever these drones are doing, the government really doesn't want us to know about it, said Senator John Bremick, calling on the Department of Defense to come clean with the American public about what's really happening. Here's another quote from him. He says, What that must mean is they're more concerned with us getting knowledge and being afraid of that information than having no knowledge and having all these questions, claimed the Republican from the state's 21st legislative district. All right, let's break that down. What he thinks it means is he thinks that the government is more concerned with we the people being told the truth and how we'll react to that truth. They're more concerned with that than they are with, people being pissed because they're not getting any answers. Okay, yeah, I happen to agree with that. I do think that's the metric that's being employed right now because I absolutely think they know what this is. Now, whether or not I guess the question becomes is it could just be run-of-the-mill standard Department of Defense stuff like it was with the stealth program back in the 1970s and 80s. People were freaking out and they were like, yeah, swamp gas or whatever, and then they were like, well, we couldn't tell the world. Is that? If it's that, okay, I can live with that. And I don't need to know that. Come out and say, look, you guys, Jesus, you're wrecking this. It's a top secret new Defense Department thing. All right, we can't tell you anymore. Are you good? Can you go away? You're not in any danger. If they were to do that, I think a lot of people would be like, okay, I don't need to know anymore. Actually, I think a lot of normal people would be like, okay, yeah, I don't work at the Pentagon. I don't have executive clearance. I get that some people can know things that others can. I would like to think that normal people would react that way. Of course, we live in a country where we probably have 40% of us going, no, I need special dark clearance for everything that we're doing. No, we don't. It's a scary world. Sorry, Goober from Arkansas. You do not get that kind of clearance. Get back to looking for a job, okay? Get off online. Go back to, the job boards. He goes on to say there must be something going on that they can't tell us because they're so fearful of what the public's going to do when they hear what these drones are actually out there doing. All right, so there you go. So we've got Mayorkas from Homeland Security. Shoot him. We got this guy who is a state senator saying they know what it is and they're afraid to tell us. And then we got Jim Hines. Now, I was talking about the different levels of people and what they know. And, people are butthurt because they don't have security clearance and all that stuff. So they're like, they ain't telling us nothing. Well, you don't have the clearance. This guy, I'm going to show you a guy now who would have the clearance. This is a guy who would be looped in, okay? He is the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. He would be told he would have the clearance as a ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. This is Jim Hines. Let's listen to what Jim Hines, he went on TV over the weekend. Remember, Homeland Security shoot him down. And state senator from Jersey saying, they know what it is and it's bad. They don't want to tell us. And now comes the House Intelligence Committee ranking member. Okay, this is Jim Hines. Let's listen to his tone. Let's see what he thinks.
Hopefully with truth. Now, let me say something that I know with confidence. It is not the Iranians. It is not the Chinese. They aren't Martians. I know that's very unsatisfying for people who want a Hollywood movie out of this. But
how can you say
yeah,
that, though?
Look, in the absence of good information, I can say that because I spent all my time as the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee watching what the Iranians and the Chinese do. And you know what they don't do is put a bunch of drones that we could easily recover over the continental United States. The Chinese learned that lesson, of course, with their spy balloon. And you're right, I can't say it with 100% probability. But to Nicole's point, it's just the military is amazing at what they do. An aircraft carrier has 6,000 amazing people on it who will defeat the Iranians. What they're not very good at doing is identifying if there's 12 teenage boys in Montclair, New Jersey, flying Walmart drones. The military is not very good at identifying that and dealing with that. So hopefully with truth. Now, let me say something that I know with confidence. It is not the Iranians. It is not the Chinese. They aren't Martians. I know that's very unsatisfying for people who want a Hollywood movie out of this. But
how can you say
yeah,
that, though?
Look, in the absence of good information, I can say that.
Time out. Who's this chick now? Who is this chick? Who is this latest gorgeous anchor clone that Fox, Weekend, they're getting her ready. Okay. As soon as the latest member of Fox and Friends gets sexually harassed, they're going to move her straight into that slot.
That because I spent all my time as the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee watching what the Iranians and the Chinese do. And you know what they don't do is put a bunch of drones that we could easily recover over the continental United States. The Chinese learned that lesson, of course.
With the sky balloon. Okay, so that guy, here's why I wanted to listen to him. Listen to his tone. He is a guy who would know. He is a guy who would be looped in, again, as a ranking member on the Intelligence House Committee. He doesn't seem worried. He doesn't seem like, but maybe he would be marched out to put on the Sunday programs a sort of air of confidence that we know what we're doing. I don't know. So, I mean, you can look at that and you can go, he probably knows the real truth. If this is like some Department of Defense thing. He knows the real truth, and he knows that it isn't bad. He also knows he can't say anything about it. So they're marching him out there, and he's like, and it's all about tone. I don't know, man. I just don't know. All I know is that I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I have this story to be obsessed with. I thought it was going to be the Mangino story, Mangione, or whatever his name is. That's going to take a little bit of a break as we figure out his attorneys and all of that. More on that coming. Let's keep going. All right, more with the drone stuff. Okay, so now, big breaking drone news over the weekend. If you're a drone head like me, you know that this isn't just something that's happening in New Jersey, but national media and our collective understanding isn't always up to speed. This is now going on in many other places. Los Angeles, Oregon, Britain, apparently for a long time, but we don't care about their news. Florida, Arizona, all over the place. Friday, over this weekend, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio was swarmed by drones. You remember on Friday, right? Didn't I tell you the story about Langley from a year ago? December a year ago, Langley Air Force Base in Virginia swarmed on 15 consecutive nights with drones. And we didn't do anything about it because apparently we can't. As a number of pilots have pointed out, I do love this. These are things that we think are true. Like, private pilots, no, they can't just fly over a military base. That's restricted airspace. You can't fly. It's not true. There's no restricted airspace. A bunch of pilots, I've been seeing this because a lot of people are saying that about these drones. You can fly drones over a military base and they're not going to shoot it down. We're just dumb. We just think, no, they're just going to blow it. No, they actually can't. They can't. Not allowed to. And if you had a plane and you were going from this place to this place and there happened to be a military base under where you're flying, guess what? You wouldn't have to reroute. They let you do it. So anyway, just things we know and things we don't know. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. A major, stealth technology was developed. I mean, this is a weird place. Wright-Patterson is one of those, they call it the Midwest's Area 51. So what happened at Wright-Patterson on Friday night? Listen to this. This comes from air traffic control. We'll listen to it and then I'll give you the story. Hold on. Sorry, make sure we got it here. Again, Friday night, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base was closed, I'll tell you that much, for a number of hours because they were swarmed by drones. Let's listen to the military air traffic control from Friday night.
Patterson Tower, Med Flight 8, 1,900 feet, about 7 miles southwest of the field, like transition your Delta northeastbound.
Med Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation. Suggest at or above 1,700 AGL.
All right, did you get that? Did you hear that? They're rerouted. This is a med flight, a medical flight that is having to be rerouted because security is dealing with a bunch of drones. Listen, they'll tell us more. I just want to make sure in the beginning we get straight what's happening here. This is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Med Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation. Suggest at or above 1,700 AGL.
That we will maintain 2,000 and on our transition for Med Flight 8.
And I gotta keep the lights down so that security forces can see.
Roger that, no problem.
Position approved, sir.
Approved, Med Flight 8.
Med Flight 8 Tower.
Ahead for Med Flight 8.
Hey, sir, you're still approved through our Class Delta. After you leave, Columbus is going to sterilize the Class Delta as of 0330 Zulu. Patterson Class Delta is closed after your transition.
I'm sorry about that. You got stepped on by other traffic. Can you say again?
Yes, sir. Your transition is still approved. However, Patterson Class Delta is sterilized as of 0330 Zulu for heavy unknown UAS activity. Security Forces is handling it, and Columbus is going to sterilize the airspace after you leave the Delta.
Roger that. No problem. Thank you.
Roger that. No problem. Thank you. They closed an American Air Force base. Here's the story. Okay, so we just heard it. Let's see. The story is Yahoo News. This comes from the Washington Post. Drone incursions closed Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Friday night for several hours. Why didn't the story about Langley being swarmed for 2 consecutive weeks last December make national news? Well, because we entrust the media to select what they tell us about. That's what I say. Their job is to gin us up with the stories that they pre-select. Just because there are 5 news stories that are focused on every day by Fox News or CNN doesn't mean that there's only 5 news stories. No, those are the ones that they've chosen. Now we're going to hear about every time a drone comes near an Air Force base, we're going to hear about this now. But remember, last December for 2 weeks, Langley Air Force Base in Virginia was swarmed by drones and nobody paid any attention to it. Now, there were reports of it. I mean, I found the reports. You can find them now because they're super important now with what's happening. Here's what it says. The sprawling Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio is the latest military installation to report mysterious drones flying over its airspace. I can confirm, here's a quote now, I can confirm small aerial systems were spotted over Wright-Patterson between Friday night and Saturday morning. This according to base spokesman Bob Perdaman. I said, today, leaders have determined that they did not impact base residents, facilities, or assets. The Air Force is taking all appropriate measures to safeguard our installations and residents. The drones ranged in sizes and configurations, Puritan said. Our units are working with local authorities to ensure the safety of base personnel. God, what are we doing here? What is happening? Are we truly this feckless? I mean, it's just as a country, have we always just been the big roided out asshole at the party who, when, the pushing and shoving starts, he gets knocked out immediately because he doesn't actually know how to fight. He just knows how to look like he can fight. What are we doing here in this country? What is going on? All right, more drone stuff. There you go. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So let's get to Joe Rogan. He was trending all weekend. He made popular a story that had been percolating for a couple of weeks. Maybe about a week, let's be honest. But I first saw it a while ago, and I was like, oh, God, this is just too dark and too scary, and screw it. I don't want to put it out there. But okay. So Joe decides that, hey, let's start talking about this, which I don't even know if I want to know. So here's the story. Here's the story that's been going around since everyone's talking about it. So what are these drones? These drones are actually, what do we know about them? Well, they appear at the same time, and they seem to be flying the same patterns, and they seem to be mapping or something and doing this and that, and that's what we know about them. They seem to be working together. They seem to be a part of one single mission. So what is happening? So what is the belief? Well, these are those NEST, those nuclear emergency response teams, and these are nuke sniffers. These are uranium sniffers. They're flying around because they believe there's a warhead out there. Maybe there's a credible threat. Maybe there's a credible threat against New York City this Christmas. or whatever. Who knows? They're looking for the cell. They're looking for the bomb makers. They're looking for wherever this is being stored. They know it's in the country. That is the story. That is the story, okay? That's a really scary story. Because we're gonna wake up Christmas morning, we're gonna find out that New York doesn't exist anymore because these drone teams started to get shot down by yahoos. And they couldn't tell us that. Like, they couldn't go, okay, we're going to let you know what's going on here. Well, see, what had happened was back in the early 90s, a whole bunch of nuclear warheads went missing from the Ukraine and other former Soviet republics. You know, we accounted for 120, but we believe there was at least like maybe 200 at least. So we've got like 80 nukes. Fun fact. One of those nukes that we had lost track of popped back up on the scene, and we believe it's somewhere on the Jersey Shore. So now, America, I would ask that you be cool with that and not freak out. Right? I mean, I don't know. You can't tell people that. You can't tell people that. I'm sorry. Jack Nicholson knew. I just almost called him Jack Nicholson. I like combined the golfer and the actor. You can't handle the truth is what I'm trying to say. And no, we can't handle the truth. We didn't know. We had a pandemic a couple of years ago, and there was all kinds of truth coming in all different directions, and we just decided to go with whatever felt best for us at that moment. We can't handle the truth. So Joe Rogan out there, he's like, hey, I didn't really care about the drones until I saw this. Freak out, America. So what is that? What am I talking about? So here it is. Joe Rogan forwarded this. What is he saying here? Joe Rogan says he's now genuinely concerned about New Jersey drones after watching a TikTok about missing nukes and interstate waste. So it's this story here. It's this guy. This guy is apparently we're going to show him. We're going to play the whole thing. It's like 20 minutes long or something. I don't know. It's a long tape. But this guy, let's just listen to this guy for a while. We'll skim through it. And he is talking about that very real, very scary theory that this is about missing nukes and that New York City is about to be blown up, which I think is wildly unnecessary. But okay, here we go.
My name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military-grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So,
I want to give you the truth in what I believe. Those are two different things. That's too many of us out here thinking what we believe is the truth.
If you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay, we don't know where they end. So government, which they had their ears closed about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that come up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would.
All right, so this guy can be easily found anywhere, but that's the origin of the now quite widely discussed theory that these are in fact nuclear sniffing drones, that the government is looking for something, and they can't tell us about it because we couldn't handle it. That's a very dark, very sort of, I don't know, man. I just want it to be drills. I just want it to be some kind of, we're just testing some new cool stuff. But at this point, they got to tell us. We're going on a month now. This is week 4. All right. How about some audio or some cool ass video? This is from Saturday. Now I'm showing this because this guy is somebody I don't know personally, but I do know his character, and he is a regular on one of my favorite sports talk radio shows, and he's a Chicago Bear legend. Kyle Long, Howie Long's son. Kyle Long, an incredibly gifted baseball and football player, but a Chicago Bears legend. Kyle Long was flying into LaGuardia on Saturday or Friday, and he was just filming stuff out his window, and this is just something that he caught. And I'm showing this because he's not a goof. Kyle Long is not a goof. Like he's not gonna, hey, watch me do this internet prank. So this is interesting. This is how gratuitous the sightings are. He's flying into LaGuardia. He's over the New Jersey coast, and this is what Chicago Bear legend, son of Howie Long, this is what he has to say. What is that? All right, creepy ass drone stuff. We got more creepy ass drone stuff. What else do we have? All right, let me see what this one is. This is a drones hovering over a police station. This is a cop who was pulled over out in front, filming this. Here we go. This is where is this from? This is somewhere in New Jersey. Here we go. Remember, our White House would have us believe these are all airplanes. Here we go.
See, it's stalling right over the cop cars. Those are the cop cars. That's the station. And this thing is stalled right over us. There it is. Can you see it? Oh my God! It's turning around. Look, the colors are turning around.
This thing looks like one of them Simon games. Remember Simon? It looks like a flying Simon.
This is some crazy stuff.
All right, there you go. That's more drone video. That's just hanging out over a police station. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, so here's some more video that's going around now. This is from Phoenix, okay? I want to show this. This is from Phoenix. This is a month ago. But I want to show this to you because I look for something, I love my UFO, whatever we're calling them now, weird aerial phenomena sighting videos. But I look for certain tells. Like, I don't believe that any civilian without real training is a good enough actor to be believable. They were trying to fake scenes. I look for certain tells. One of the things that makes it super easy is little kids. If there are little kids in the video that can be heard commenting on what's happening, you know it's real. You know it's real because those little kids, they're not. This video has little kids, which kind of makes it a little bit weirder for me. Like, what the hell is this? Again, there is a new theory, not a new theory, but it's also something that people are talking about. Have you heard the concept of the orbs now? People are talking about these orbs. Sometimes they're saying that they're drones, and sometimes they're saying that they're seeing orbs. Well, there is a story online that I'm enjoying that the drones are ours and the orbs are aliens. And these drones are, look, I don't know, man. Let's just watch this video. This video is crazy. Once again, the kids make it real for me. These are a whole bunch of drones, orbs, whatever. Drones and orbs. This is what happens. Watch this. All right, here we go. Phoenix 1 month ago. Kids make it real. Kids make it real.
Come here, look at this. Come here. What is that?
Is that like a Chinese lantern or something?
No, look at how fast it's moving.
Is that coming towards us?
It just showed up. Look at now it's not moving. Now it's just kind of.
What is that?
It's a flying candle, you don't know.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Bro,
What?
get a rocket launcher and shoot me. Get a rocket launcher.
That's an American kid right there. Dad, get a rocket launcher.
Shoot it.
Hey, go out front and look up in the sky. There's something weird. We're all looking at it over here.
Whoa, what the?
That's also a very nice touch. The kids, there's something weird. They're seeing something weird. The kids, you can't coach that, right? Okay, but a very nice touch. If it was faked, the wife calling the friend. You need to go outside. You hear her on the phone. Very nice, very believable. That's the kind of shit that actually happens in these moments.
Get a rocket launcher.
Shoot it.
Hey, go out front and look up in the sky. There's something weird. We're all looking at it over here.
Whoa, what the heck?
Yeah. I mean, we saw it earlier and it disappeared, and now it's back.
It was really weird. It was so close when I was like, so like Sonic.
All right. I'm telling you, those kids, man, they make me go, this is, because normally if it's just a human, or more specifically, an American human, I'm like, this fucker's full of shit. This guy, what's his game? You know? But you hear those kids, and you're like, they're seeing something. There's something that they are all looking at. Like, get a rocket launcher, Dad. I love that. I love that. All right, what else do we have here? We got another cool video. Oh, I don't know if this is real. I think it's real, but it was on TikTok. And this is a part of the people who are like, no, it's drones are attacking the alien orbs. Anyway, watch this. This comes from just a couple days ago. Phoenix, Arizona. Again, Phoenix, Arizona. Here, hold on. Hold on. I don't know. Look, guys, it's do you know how we have to both be skeptical of everything we see online, but also open-minded enough to go, there are no rules anymore, so I have no fucking clue how to process this. Okay. This brings us to this video. I don't know what's going on here, but it appears that there are 2 drones and 1 orb. And it appears, as we see in the video, that one of the drones seems to engage with the orb, and then the drone loses battery and you see it completely fall out of the sky. I mean, it is pretty dramatic the way it just stops working as soon as it gets close to the orb. All right, so let's watch this one. This is a couple days ago, Phoenix, Arizona. Here we go.
Something's going up real fast. A plane? I can't tell what it is.
All right, so understand the orb is there, and they're filming the orb, And then they notice, they're like, oh, wait, something is moving so fast. I can't tell what it was. That's the drone. Like somebody sent a drone up after this orb.
Oh, something's going up real fast.
There it is.
A plane? I can't tell what it is.
Here's the orb.
Whoa, is that moving?
Here's another. Watch this. It's this guy here you got to watch. He's going to engage with the orb.
That is quick. There's only one remaining right now. Whatever that green flashing one is, he moved quick around it to get it. Super quick.
Come on, frame it better, sister. All right, watch it. All right. So we're watching this green one here. You're watching this green one. Watch as it engages. Here it goes.
Oh, he's like right on it.
Oh, there it goes. Whatever. That seems to have lost all power. And there you have it. So, pick your theory time. What are you more comfortable with? You more comfortable with these are nukes, some lost nuke, and it's a Nest team trying to save Christmas? This ain't a movie, folks. This is the real world. Or is it aliens? Is it aliens? And these are I don't know, man. I don't know where to go with this. Let's see. What is this one now? All right, we'll do one more. We'll do one more, and then we'll get into some other stories. This is Seaside, New Jersey. I've been watching live webcam from Seaside, New Jersey all weekend, just all weekend long. They got a camera. They got a camera, and it's just pointed at the sky there on the beach where they say 50 drones came out of the water. Here we go. This is the last one, and we'll get into the normal stuff.
So there is, what the fuck is that?
Okay.
What the hell? Okay, something's going on. Something's going on. What is that next
Remember, the White House is telling us these are just airplanes. Total nothing to see here.
to it? What the fuck? A part of me is starting to maybe think like that red drone is someone's drone. Like someone here putting it up, like police or something like that. And the one above it is the unidentified drones. I don't know. That's not accurate. I am just saying my theory because that red drone is really low. It's kind of weird. And oh my God, look at that one going.
Look at that thing take off.
Where is it going?
Look at change direction.
It went close to that red drone.
I'm not a goober, man. I don't know what the hell is going on in New Jersey.
It's getting lower. I'm sorry if you guys can't see that good. I'm trying my best.
All right. And there you have it. By the way, an update on the terrible, terrible story that we started today, Madison, Wisconsin. School shooting there, a Christian school. The number, thankfully, has been changed. The last report that I gave you was 5 dead, including the shooter. Now it looks like we're back to 3 dead, good, and better than 5, including the shooter, with 6 injured. But it still looks like details are coming. This is a developing situation, again, out of Madison, Wisconsin, a school shooting. Don't know any details. I'm sure we'll find out more about it. All right, let's keep going. What are the other things that we need to talk about this weekend? Nancy Pelosi. Did you hear about her? She fell. She busted her hip. Something that happens with old ladies. She was over there in Europe. She, I don't know what she did. She had one too many glasses of wine with lunch. Why not? She's not needed anymore. Live your life, girl. And she slipped, she fell, and crunch. She had to have hip replacement surgery. Nancy Pelosi, she's on the mend. There you have it. What else do we have? What else is a big story? Hold on. God, I got so many stories today. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. Did you hear this nonsense? This happened on Friday. This broke Friday afternoon. Oh, my God, did this get me hot. Blue Cross Blue Shield, one of these, we're calling them healthcare companies, apparently. They're really insurance companies. They don't give a shit about your health. They don't care. Insurance companies. Blue Cross Blue Shield put a woman in jail for making a threat. Let's listen. By the way, Blue Cross Blue Shield, remember them from a couple weeks ago? The day after Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, got shot in the streets of Manhattan. Remember the next day, Blue Cross Blue Shield was like, yeah, we ain't paying for anesthesia anymore. You got to be tougher. Whatever. I don't know what their attitude was, but it's fucking absurd. And then that got immediate blowback, and they're like, nah, we're kidding. That's who we're dealing with here. Blue Cross Blue Shield has thrown someone in jail. A woman has been jailed after using shooting suspect's catchphrase as insurance company denied her claim. Let me show you this lady. Let me show you this lady who is fed up. This lady is us. This lady is all of us. Put her in jail. Fuck is wrong with you people? Put her in jail. Look at her. Look at her. She's gorgeous. Learn about what this lady did, okay? Remember, she didn't make a direct threat. She was jailed for using Luigi Mangioni's catchphrase. It's a Florida woman, of course. How could it not be? A Florida woman was charged after police say she threatened an insurance company with the phrase, delay, deny, depose. An arrest affidavit obtained by WFLA said the FBI contacted the Lakeland Police Department on Tuesday with information about an alleged threat. According to the affidavit, 42-year-old Brianna Boston, take a look at her. Was she 42? All right, so I'm just trying to imagine what 25-year-old Brianna Boston of Florida looks like. It might not be too bad. Because my reasoning is this. There has never been an ugly Brianna. Sorry. There's also never been an ugly Heather. That's right. I know. There was a time in this country when you could say that about Ashleys. But then every other girl started to be an Ashley. And I got news for you. There's a lot of less than prime Ashleys out there. Anyway, point is, here's Brianna Boston. She was jailed. We all feel terrible about it. It says here, according to the affidavit, 42-year-old Brianna Boston used the phrase deny, depose, deny, whatever the phrase is. It's not that catchy. I got to be honest. It ain't that catchy. An arrest affidavit obtained by WFLA said the FBI contacted the Lakeland Police Department on Tuesday with information about an alleged threat. According to the affidavit, 42-year-old Brianna Boston used the phrase during a call with Blue Cross Blue Shield about a denied claim. Delay, deny, depose. You people are next, she allegedly said near the end of the call. All right. If she had just said, delay, deny, depose. Yeah. She said, you people are next. I didn't know that. You people are next. That does sound like a threat. I don't know if you can do that. She should have done it in a more interviewee way. Like she lost her shit. Emotionally, she was mad and she just started saying stuff. If she had maybe gone through a little ego therapy, she'd have been able to control her emotions better and she'd have been able to really pin this person in a corner. By, I don't know, doing something like, all right, well, hey, are you following the news? Did you see what happened? Isn't this like one of them kind of situations? This is why people are so angry. There's a better way to have, manipulated her into feeling threatened than just coming straight out going, deny, depose, delay. You people are next. Can't say you people are next. That's not good. The words are similar to the message left at the location where United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was killed last week. Luigi Mangioni was arrested earlier this week and charged with his shooting. Attorneys have said the insurance industry uses a delay, deny, and defend tactic to withhold healthcare services. All right, there you have it. She's in jail. I don't know. Hopefully she's bailed out. I can't imagine she's still in jail. Somebody went and got her. Jamie Foxx. Let's talk about him. Jamie Foxx. He's been in the news recently after not being available for comment for a good year. Jamie Foxx, about 2 years ago now, I guess he dropped dead. He had a brain go, and it was close. It was bad, and he had to take himself out of circulation for a year. Jamie Foxx is back. He's doing gambling commercials during football games. He's got a new Netflix special. Haven't gotten to see it yet. You know why? Because I hear they're singing and stuff, and I don't. No, I don't want that. And it was his birthday. Remember, it was his birthday on Friday. So on Friday night, he goes to Mr. Chow's. I've been there. Very fancy Beverly Hills, Hollywood staple restaurant. Mr. Chow's. And it's where he wants to go for his birthday. Apparently, it's his favorite restaurant. And there's a table full of people, adjacent to him, who are apparently talking all kinds of shit and stuff. And they start jawing back and forth like Jamie Foxx was like, hey, you guys, we're having kind of a quiet birthday celebration over here. You think you can keep it down? And this is Mr. Chow's in Beverly Hills, okay? This isn't Bell Bottoms in North Richland Hills, right? This is a little bit different. You would expect. No, dude, chucks a glass from shunk, from across the room, shunk, hits Jamie Foxx right in the face. Cuts him. He needs stitches. All right. Now let me see what the real story is, because that's just what I remember of it. All right, here we go. Jamie Foxx needed stitches after dinner altercation. Glass was thrown at him. Says here, what's the latest update? A witness to the incident tells TMZ customers at another table were being rude and vulgar to Jamie. Who's going to be rude and vulgar to Jamie Foxx? If you're out to dinner and Jamie Foxx and his party sits next to you, one, normal people totally leave him alone and are just like, that's Jamie Foxx. That's Jamie Foxx. That's how normal people be. Maybe, best case scenario, you're like, hey, Jamie, so glad to have you back. You make a mention and you're nice to him. Why? Because you're out to a fancy dinner. Life is good. You got a celebrity. Who among us, what part of the asshole class is like, hey, it's Jamie Foxx. He just survived a brain hemorrhage. What do you say we start a fist fight? Who is that? Who are those people? What happened here? I need more. Let's see. A spokesman for Jamie tells TMZ Jamie was at his birthday party when someone from another table threw a glass that hit him in the mouth. He had to get stitches and is recovering. The police were called. The matter is now in law enforcement hands. All right. So that means we'll never hear anything about this again. Unless there's something that happened today that I missed. All right. Let's get to Hana Kobayashi. Okay. Let's get to Hana Kobayashi, our missing Hawaiian girl. We were all very concerned about her whereabouts. Hana Kobayashi was traveling from Hawaii to New York to visit her aunt. This is the story we were told. There was a connecting flight in Los Angeles, as is often the case with flights from Hawaii. They land in the mainland, and then you go on from there. She went missing. She didn't meet her connecting flight. And in the very early stages here, we were told, hey, there's a missing girl. She didn't get her connecting flight. And then they show her. And she's cute. She's pretty. So now we care. Because we don't give a fuck about ugly people. Like, get that ugly. Well, oh, really? An ugly person died? No big deal. That's how we feel. I say this as an ugly person. So she's cute. So now we're interested. She's got us. Oh, I hope she's okay. Her poor aunt in New York must be just pearl clutching. So then it turns out that she starts texting her family. And she's like, I'm in LA. Missed my flight. Gonna catch another flight. And then they're like, wait a second. What are you doing? What is going on with you? And then she went dark. And they were like, oh my God, she's been abducted. And we all thought, we were like, oh, look at her. We're showing the pictures of her. Look at her. She's smiling. Oh, she's a vulnerable little girl in this big, scary world. And then we learned she got a boyfriend. She's like, oh, her boyfriend was on the flight too. Her boyfriend. What's that son of a bitch's story? Right? That's how we were. That's how we were programmed from the early pictures. Oh, I hope she's okay. What's his deal? Yeah, we'll get to him. Long story short, he was cleared. He's fine. He caught the connecting flight. She didn't. She didn't catch the connecting flight. So she goes missing. She's missing. She's missing. Her estranged father, they'd only reconnected in the last 4 years or so. But he missed a big chunk of her life. And now he was a big part of her life. He comes over from Hawaii. He's scouring the back alleys of L.A. He's if you've ever seen George C. Scott in Hardcore, he's like George C. Scott in Hardcore. He's like, I gotta find my daughter. I guess the cooler reference would be Liam Neeson, but I'm old, so I went with George C. Scott. So her father is so distraught at not being able to find any answer as to where his daughter went. Her father killed himself. And then the LAPD find video of her just walking into Mexico. She just walked into Mexico. She's like, yeah, just walked in. And they're like, oh, she's obviously being trafficked. And the LA police are like, no, she's not. She's really not. Seems to be on her own. Seems to be just walking. So now we learn that her reason was she was just upset about the way things were going, and she just couldn't. And she didn't feel she was getting the support from her family that she wanted, so she just couldn't with them, and she disappeared. She wanted to just disappear off the radar. Well, now we're getting some real background on old Hannah, because we don't have to treat her like some, fully grown, this poor, vulnerable girl. The real reason that Hannah Kobayashi vanished on trip of a lifetime to New York and wound up in Mexico. It says here, now that Hannah Kobayashi has come forward to declare that she is safe and well, her incredible story behind her disappearance can be revealed for the very first time. Kobayashi, 30, was on her way to New York from her home on the Hawaiian island of Maui, where she decided to walk out of Los Angeles International Airport and disappear. She wasn't on that flight by herself. She was on her way to the Big Apple alongside her new green card husband, an Argentinian native named Alan Kikase, who we're just hearing about now. She had a green card husband. She had a dude who married her to stay in the country. All right, I'm just going to tell you a story. All right. Her and her boyfriend, they're dating. And they're like, we're not making any money here in Hawaii. And they didn't know what they were doing. Here's what else they were doing. Lots of drugs. Hannah is like a crazy mushroom, psychedelic, cocaine pot freak. Hannah has a drug problem. That's why her parents were like, we're really kind of worried about her because she's really always fucked up on acid. And we don't need her running around. That's what she did. She's a big, freaky, psychedelic chick. Now I see it. Yeah, now you see her. She's like, Anyway, it's big crazy. So her and her boyfriend, they hatched this scheme. They meet these people. I don't know if they're swingers or what the deal is, but they were tourists. Oh, and by the way, Hannah used to be one of those like luau dancers. You know, when you see like when you go to Hawaii and like all the tourists from Iowa are like, I won't see where real luau is. And then like some Hawaiian girl comes out and goes, gun, 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 gun. She was that. So she knew a whole bunch of tourists and people there. And somehow her and her boyfriend met up and hooked up with a couple of people from Argentina. And these people, this man and wife, I guess they were married or they were boyfriend and they were engaged from Argentina. Couple from Argentina who are engaged. They want to stay here. They want green cards. So Hannah Kobayashi and her boyfriend, remember the guy that was on the plane with her, and her boyfriend, they hatched this scheme where Hannah marries the husband and Hannah's boyfriend marries his fiance, and they all become legal and they get paid for it, and they'll use this money to go on their trip to New York together. That's where the money came from to go on this trip to New York, because she married a guy, let's get his name right, Argentinian native Alan Kikase. Okay, so she marries this guy. Now, the green card husband of Hana Kobayashi and the green card wife of Hana Kobayashi's ex-boyfriend. Because remember, by the time the flight came around, by the time the trip came around, Hana had broken up with her boyfriend, even though they were both still in this deal. They were still married to the other people, but they were just no longer a couple. So the Argentinians who are, green card married to Hana and her boyfriend. I know, how crazy is this story? We didn't know any of this stuff. So the green card husband, he and his green card, wife, or soon to be whatever, the woman from Argentina who's also there, they're like, you two need to take us to New York with you because that will help with the green card process, because we can get pictures taken of like you and look, we're a real couple. We were in New York at the Statue of Liberty. Look, we're a real couple. We were in Los Angeles. And, that's how they're going to make their case that it's not a sham green card marriage. Anyway, so begrudgingly, Hannah's like, fine. I'll dedicate one day of my trip to us running around New York City taking pictures like tourists so that we can help with your... All right. So that's what was going on here. Kobayashi, 30, was on her way to New York from her home on the Hawaiian island of Maui when she decided to walk out of the airport. She wasn't on that flight by herself. She was on her way to New York alongside her new green card husband, Argentina native Alan Kakaise, in a bid to hoodwink immigration officials into believing their marriage was genuine. And on the same flight was her ex-boyfriend, Amun Miranda, who joined them with his own green card wife, Marianne, who was the fiance of the one that was with Hannah. She just happened to be Kakaise's girlfriend. This messy love square, all on one plane together, was only possible because Kakaise, he's the Argentinian dude, had allegedly given Hana Kobayashi $15,000 with the promise of a similar sum once the immigration documents that allowed him to stay in the United States were issued. The rouge of their sham marriage was already in the works after they tied the knot in October. Pictures of the ceremony were shown to Kobayashi's colleagues at the Up in Smoke weed store. You ever walked into a weed store and seen the chicks that work in a weed store? They're a type, is my point. And this is a weed store in Hawaii. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. The rouge of their sham marriage was already in the works after they tied the knot in October. Pictures of the ceremony were shown to Kobayashi's colleagues at the Up in Smoke blah, blah, blah shop where she worked. But Kakaise, the green card husband, believed that pictures of him with Kobayashi, perhaps in front of the Empire State Building, in Central Park, on Broadway, or by the Statue of Liberty, would be enough to persuade immigration officials that their marriage was in fact real. All right, let's keep going. What else do we know? Here's her boyfriend. Let's take a look at her boyfriend, because I don't know that we've ever really seen him before. Here we go. Boom. This is a room whatever. I don't know what his name is here. A room something or other. Why is that a mugshot? Did he get arrested for something? He didn't do anything wrong, right? I don't think he did. Did he do anything wrong? No, he just got out right. He's the one that didn't miss his flight. Remember, they're like, what's your story? And he's like, I'm more organized than my tripping balls ex-girlfriend who, she missed the connecting. She shouldn't eat all the mushrooms, but she did. All right, hold on. That's him. Oh, let's also, we'll look at some more pictures of her. Get rid of that. All right, so that's the boyfriend. All right. There. There's the weed store she works at. Look at there she is. She's like, I'm tripping balls and I'm going to perpetrate an immigration scam. But before that, all of America is going to be saying prayers for me. Ugh. All right, that's her. Let's keep going with the story. All right, there's the boyfriend. All right, let's get into the story about the Argentinian couple, right? All right, so here we go. The Argentinian couple wanted to hop on the trip to New York at the last minute because it presented an opportunity for photos. But the dynamics of the group quickly got very complicated. This is what we're trying to figure out. Why did she not get on the plane to New York? Why she just couldn't with these people? She's a lot, man. Hannah Kobayashi is a lot. Failed actress, wannabe photographer, pot store worker. Her co-workers also divulged that her cash cows, the Argentinians, were also a point of contention for the formerly missing woman who didn't want either of them coming on this trip. All right, so Hannah didn't like either of them. Hannah Kobayashi didn't like either of the Argentinians, but she liked the money. Let's see what else. Then there was Marianne. Marianne's the girlfriend. Marianne doesn't like Hannah Kobayashi. Let's look at some of these pictures. Hold on. So what do we got? Look at that. All right, so there's Hannah Kobayashi and her boyfriend. Aren't they a lovely young couple? Nah, they're scam artists. All right. Whatever. There's a whole bunch. Just Google search it. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. These people were not worthy of our prayers. They were not worthy of our concern. Bunch of scammers. She's fine. Her poor dad. Once again, fuck the dad, right? The only one who gets completely shit on in this whole thing is dad. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what we sign up for. It's what dads know. I don't think there's a good dad on this planet who, if they could look at the absolute worst thing that is destined to happen to their child, I don't think there's a good dad on this planet who wouldn't go, can I take that one off his hands? I'll take that one right now. I can. Horrible car accident. I'll take that one. Can I get that off him? Right. That's how we are. Let's keep going. Duke accuser. I want to talk about this story. This is probably at this point an old story. Actually, you know what? It is an old story, and I don't have the audio. Anyway, do you remember the Duke accuser? Crystal Mangum. She was the stripper from Duke. Actually, she wasn't from Duke. She was from another school in the area. But Duke, a very, very prestigious, very expensive, very high-end. Right? It's the SMU that Tobacco built. You know, I always think of Duke as being very similar to what SMU is, vibe-wise, privilege, Anyway, so the lacrosse team at Duke, 20 years ago now, they had themselves a party. They were celebrating a well-done season. And they ordered up some strippers, and the strippers came over, and it was just like it is. Are you kids out there? You know, these stripper companies where you open the phone book, or now I guess you go online. These stripper companies, they exist because 25-year-olds are stupid. You don't, that's not how you get a good, it's always going to be bad. Those are always bad situations. They're always gross. They're always strung out on drugs. Don't just, the way to get me to come to your bachelor party is not to be like, dude, there's going to be strippers. I don't have a problem with strippers. I know a lot of strippers. Some of them are wonderful people. Many of them are wonderful people. But I don't want to go, that's not something I don't like. No, thank you. So anyway, apparently they were upset because they ordered. Now this is true. Because this probably happens. They specifically ordered hot white strippers. Specifically. That's so funny. That's a dumb kid thing. You know, you're calling, yeah, what? Got my dad's credit card. We're throwing a party for the lacrosse team. I want to order some strippers. You're like, okay. All right. How many you need? I want 2. You're like, okay. Make sure they're hot and white. Yeah, sure, no problem. And then they'll just send whatever strippers available. My friend tells a story about how he ordered 2 strippers for some bachelor party that he was the best man at. Like, this is going back years ago. But one of them showed up in a cast. Cast. Oh, do you like this, Daddy? And it's a funky yellowed cast. Not like a cast that was just put on in the last couple of weeks. We're talking about a cast that's going to be taken off next week. You know, it's all funky and broken and fuzzy. It's like, do you like this, Daddy? No. So anyways, these idiot Duke kids, apparently they were not in a happy mood when I guess one of them was, one of them's a black lady who is, of course, Crystal Mangum. Crystal Mangum shows up. She's neither white nor, if you're asking me, hot. But she shows up, so they're like, boo. And then the other one shows up, and apparently the other one was half black and half Chinese, and they were like, boo. Although Malaysian, man, I gotta tell you, I'm not opposed. Point being, it was bad vibes from the beginning, but they're like, whatever. And then they're like, idiot, privileged, rich, white lacrosse players at Duke with a couple of like minority strippers in front of them, and they said terrible things. You shouldn't be able to do that. Well, then every single come on, man. That's the game. You think that's the worst that these girls are strippers on campus at Duke University? You think that's like the single worst? That young man was rude to me. He took my humanity from me. Shut up. Okay? So it wasn't that, but nothing. Anyway, it was the way these things always end with someone going, that's not enough money. And then some big giant dude holding a boombox going, that ain't enough money. And then you pass the hat again. It's all such a scam. So it ends like that. But here's the problem. Remember, and then all these guys, like one of the dudes' name was Reed something, like 3 dudes. I'm glad I don't remember their names, but their lives were over. They were shouting the N-word. They raped her. They brutalized her. All this kind of stuff. And I always thought it was sketchy. Mike Nifong, who was the local prosecutor, he just came off so poorly. From the first time I saw him in a press conference, I went, oh, he wants to be governor. This is not about whether or not they actually did it. This is about securing the black vote in North Carolina, and he is going to railroad these kids. I saw it from the very beginning. It turned out to be completely true. Mike Nifong, neither did he become governor nor a lawyer anymore because he was disbarred. Those kids were, I don't know how it affected their life, but God, man, they might be asshole kids, but I don't know that. I don't know. I'm just assuming they're asshole kids because they're rich kids who play lacrosse at Duke. So I assume they're assholes, but I don't know that. So that's not a part of this, what I'm about to say here. Those dudes were wronged. Those dudes got screwed over, and we should all have some compassion for them in that regard. Why? Because Crystal Mangum is now doing jailhouse interviews where she's like, oh, girl, I just totally made that up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, jailhouse, because she murdered somebody in 2013. She almost started a race war. That was a real big problem. And one of the reasons why Mike Nifong will never be elected to any office again, because they almost started a race war over shit that they had absolutely no evidence of and a really sketchy victim. But, we always believe the victim. She was on drugs. Now she's like, oh, I was on drugs and I just freaked out a little. Terrible. She's in jail because she murdered somebody in 2013. Yeah, that's who she is. And she also wants to apologize. Maybe she'll offer a free lap dance to one of those young men who hopefully they put their lives together and continued their family's grand tradition of raping and pillaging the countryside. All right. Crystal Mangum on the Let's Talk with Kat podcast admits that she made up the whole Duke lacrosse rape thing. Here's something I wanted to mention to you guys. This is crazy. This was a fun story that I found over the weekend. Now, I know I started the show. I told you about that show that I love, love, love. It's called Rivals. It's on Hulu. Oh, it's so good. And it's one of my 2 favorite shows from 2024. My first favorite show of 2024 is also a Hulu show called Say Nothing. And it's the story of the Belfast Brigade. And as it was led by Jerry Adams and the Price sisters and Brendan Hughes, These are all IRA, Irish Republican. You call them terrorists. I call them heroes. These are all of these. It's their story of what they did between 1970 and the signing of the Good Friday Accords in 1998. It's the story of the troubles in the IRA. It is such a great series. It is so good that I'm just going to stop talking about it because I do understand that this is one of my particular areas of interest, and it may not be that good if you're not interested in it, but I like it. Comes the story. It's widely acclaimed. Incredible. It's going to win all the BAFTAs for series. Anyway, widely acclaimed, and now we're starting to get the visual, because you got to understand, names are named in this thing. Murderers who are still alive are portrayed murdering people. Murderers who have never murdered, well, again, depending on, I don't think an IRA assassin is a murderer, but whatever, that's a much deeper discussion for a different time. But anyway, some of these people are still out there. One of them in particular, Miriam Price. Miriam Price, I mentioned the Price sisters. The Price sisters were the secret weapon of the Belfast Brigade. They were a unit of the Irish Republican Army. No other Irish Republican Army units utilized women. Dollars Price, the older of the two. Miriam is the one who's in the news today. Dollars Price was very attractive, and she was used as a honeypot for British soldiers and all that. But don't think that, like, she would honeypot them and then walk away. No, she was the one that did. She was a badass, is my point. She was a badass. She blew up the Old Bailey, which is the federal courthouse. It's what they call the federal courthouse in London. She blew up the Old Bailey, was sentenced to life in prison, went on a hunger strike, became a global sensation. That's Dollars. But Dollars' sister, Miriam, who is also portrayed in the series, spoiler alert, spoiler, seriously, if you're watching this series, I told you to start watching it 2 weeks ago. If you're watching it, I can't help but spoil the ending of the series with this news story. So tune out for about 3 minutes. Comes this news story. Miriam Price, Dollars' little sister, who's, by the way, awesome in the series. The woman who plays Miriam Price is hardcore. She is ride or die IRA, much more than her much more famous and high-profile sister Dollars. Miriam is the one that gets radicalized the most. Miriam is suing Disney because Say Nothing, the television series, spoiler alert, here we go. It's all about the question of who killed Jean McConville, who was a woman who had 10 kids. Who killed her? Who put the bullet in Jean McConville was believed to be a traitor by the IRA. She was believed to be a broke-ass mother of 10 kids who would trade information about what the IRA was doing for money from the Brits. Whether or not that was ever proven, it doesn't matter, but that's why she was murdered by the IRA. And in this series, it depicts the murder having been done by Miriam Price, which is very interesting because Miriam Price is the only one that's still alive. Dollars is dead. Brendan Hughes is dead. All the other people who are featured in this series are dead. But no, Miriam is still alive, and Miriam Price is now suing Disney because they chose to make her the one who pulled the trigger. Here, let me see quickly what the story says. Veteran Irish Republican, not like a Republican here. Veteran Irish Republican is like, she's a IRA, Irish Republican Army. Veteran Irish Republican Miriam Price to sue Disney over Say Nothing murder scene. Disney series depicts Price sister firing the shot which killed Jean McConville. Sorry, spoiler alert. Veteran Irish Republican Army leader Miriam Price is to sue Disney for defamation after she was depicted killing mother of 10 Jean McConville more than 50 years ago. Mrs. Price, who is also known as Marion McGlinchey, has denied firing the shots that claimed the life of the widowed mother more than 50 years ago. She has been accused of the murder in a new 9-part Disney Plus series, in America here, it's on FX, Say Nothing, which focuses on the life of her and her sister Dollars Price. The well-known sisters were convicted for their part in the IRA car bomb attack on London's Old Bailey courts in 1973. One man died and more than 200 people were injured in the bombing. Dolores Price died at her home in Dublin in January of 2013 at the age of 62. The acclaimed Disney Plus series, it is so acclaimed, it's so good. The acclaimed Disney Plus series includes background details of the Old Bailey attack and the role played by Dolores in the IRA, including her time in a secret Republican unit called the Unknowns. Part of her work with the unit was to transport IRA prisoners across the border for interrogation. This included Mrs. Jean McConville, who was abducted, shot dead, and secretly buried by the IRA in 1972. Let's see. Marion is then seen to the left of a shot before the widowed mother of 10 falls into her grave. The Say Nothing series is based on a book of the same name, written by Patrick Radden, and draws on interviews given from the Boston College Project. That's a series of interviews with IRA members where they were like, all right, I'm going to tell you everything, but then you can't release this until I die. That's what the Boston Project was. The Say Nothing series is based on a book of the same name, and on the Boston College Project by several people, including Dolores Price, blah, blah, blah. In pre-action correspondence, a lawyer acting for Marion Price, Peter Corrigan, said his clients intend to sue Disney for defamation. As a result of the instant publication, our client has been publicly connected with the murder of the innocent mother, Jean McConville. This allegation is unfounded in all respects. Indeed, it is difficult to envisage a more damaging allegation in which to level at our client without any evidential foundation. Here's the thing. She can't be tried anyway. The Good Friday Accords of 1998, which essentially ended the military wing of the Irish Republican Army. It just left Sinn Féin as a political organization without a military wing. The IRA is gone. All of the IRA leaders were granted immunity for everything that they would have done. So, Miriam Price is still alive. The show is like, you killed Jean McConville 50 years ago. Miriam Price cannot be charged for that because she's been given immunity for everything she may or may not have done during that period. But she's still going, no, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I don't know. It's very interesting. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. What else do we have here? Chris Rock. Chris Rock was on Saturday Night Live over the weekend. Did you watch? I watched. I missed a couple of episodes or a couple of sketches, I should say. But, man, Chris Rock, he's so great. He is so great at stand-up comedy. He's not 100%. Chris Rock sometimes Chris Rock does stand-up comedy that sucks. Sometimes he's like his last tour after Will Smith slapped him. I didn't think that was a great bunch of material. I didn't. Of course, Bring the Pain is number one. Number two, greatest comedy hour of all time. My God. So Chris Rock is allowed, to have his misfires. He came out on Saturday Night Live and he did the Christmas show. And, Chris Rock is a former cast member of Saturday Night Live, but he got up and he did a little stand-up. Let's watch Chris Rock stand up. This is from Saturday Night Live over the weekend. Chris Rock isn't aging. Can we talk about this? Can we talk about it? Chris Rock looks the same all the time, right? Chris over 60 years old. Chris Rock still looks 38. Sorry, hold on. They're making me watch a video.
Thank you very much. Yes. this is the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. Been around for 50 years. I want to congratulate Lorne Michaels on 25 great years of Saturday Night Live. There's a lot going on in the news. My God, it's so crazy out there. It's so hard just getting in the building.
I just want to stop something really quick here. This is something that I always enjoy doing with Saturday Night Live whenever I watch the host doing their monologue. This guitar player back here, little redheaded girl, little cute girl back there. Watch her. Sometimes she does not like the host, and you can tell. Anyway, she's always fun to watch. Here we go.
In the night, so much live. There's a lot going on in the news. My God, it's so crazy out there. It's so hard just getting in the building tonight. So much security. My God. I had to walk by a bunch of baby oil sniffing dogs. It was insane. Everybody's worried. I mean, we got Luigi. You know, and that's good. I really feel sorry for the family. I mean, everybody's fixated on how good looking this guy looks. If he looked like Jonah Hill, no one would care. They'd already given him the chair already. Be dead, okay? But he actually killed a man, a man with a family, a man with kids, man. I mean, I have condolences. I'm gonna have real condolences for, the healthcare CEO. I mean, this is a real person, But you also gotta go, sometimes drug dealers get shot.
Yeah. I'll tell you something about that line right there. That is how comedy gets us talking and thinking about other things, and that is just a master comedian right there. That is a comedian who understands that the art form of comedy is more than just, going out looking for as many of these as possible. Bill Hicks understood that. It's about, I want to blow their fucking minds. I want to make them think and then laugh and then think some more. That's a good joke. Sometimes drug dealers get shot.
I mean, sometimes drug dealers get shot. All right? Okay. I mean, you've seen The Wire, right? It's been a bad year for my people, the blacks. It's not been a good year. Kamala and Diddy and Jake Paul beating Mike Tyson. What the hell? Who is this Jake Paul? He's a 27-year-old punching a 60-year-old man in the face? Is this what the white man has reduced himself to? Stop it. Well, who's he gonna fight next? Morgan Freeman? I hate Jake Paul. I got landlord hate for him. I hate him like cocaine hates monogamy. The big thing, Trump, man. Trump, man. Trump had a good year, man. Trump survived an assassination attempt. Won the presidency again by winning the popular vote. Was just named Time Man of the Year. It could happen to a nicer guy. A lot of people are scared. It's like, oh my God, he's going to be so undignified. And when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about the 9 New Yorkers that didn't vote for him, okay? No. People are like, he's going to be so undignified. It's the presidency of the United States. Dude, it's the United States presidency. It's not, come on. We've had some presidents in the United States. Come on, man. This is not the most dignified job in the world. You know, we've had presidents show up to the inauguration with pregnant slaves, okay? And I'm just talking about Bill Clinton. I mean, you know what country we live in. You know the history of this country. You know how many rapists are in my wallet right now? That's right, a cup of coffee in America costs 7 rapists. And Trump's gonna get it down to 3. That's right, man. It's a crazy Menendez brothers getting out of jail. Menendez brothers. Yeah, getting out of jail. Just in time to get deported. Trump is gonna deport their ass, you murdering Mexicans. Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African American in the world, the richest African American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right. He is African American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns. That's right. Nobody knows how to get rid of people like a South African.
Great job!
Oh, he's serious. Trump is not playing. They got Elon. They're going to put him on a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's going to marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country. I know she's not Mexican, but Trump don't know that. It's just a big old Latin stew trying to keep immigrants out. My God. You know, a lot less immigrants would come into America if you stopped paying them $700 million to play baseball. That's right. Steve Cohen bought one Dominican for $700 million. Used to be able to get a whole bushel for that much. I said bushel. And the big story this week, that's right, man. Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. I gotta hand it to Joe, man. You know, he don't move as fast as he used to. He don't talk as fast as he used to. You know, but that middle finger still works, boy. That's right, man. And people are complaining. Got the nerve to complain. Like, only an animal would not pardon their son. Oh, my God. Imagine going home to your wife if you didn't pardon your son. Every parent in the world would pardon their son, except the parents of the Menendez brothers. Hey, we got a great show for you today.
All right. That was good. Like an old pro. He brings it back, ties it all together with the Menendez brothers. The other, the musical guest was someone I'd never heard of before, but, well, I guess I'm going to know who they are now. Musical guest was Gracie Abrams, and she was good. She was, she was 20-year younger, 15-year younger Taylor Swift with brunette hair, dark hair. That's it. That's what she is. They're trotting out the next Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's a woman in her 30s. She's going to get married soon. Yeah, so anyway, this Gracie Abrams, she's like coming, and I'm watching her. I'm like, okay, all right, let's see what this is all about. She did a song that was very Taylor Swift. I'm like, that's a very Taylor Swift song. She got a good look, pretty girl, kind of nice. Turns out she's J.J. Abrams' daughter. So I'm like, okay, so I guess we know how she got the Taylor Swift Eras Tour opening slot. I guess we know how she got her record deal. And now, I don't sit here and complain about the Nepo babies. People like to complain about the Nepo babies. I complain about the ones who don't belong, right? Look, I got no love for the Frank Stallones. I got no love for the Clint Howards or the Don Swayzes. Yeah, if you can't hack it, get out of here. But if you can make it, you can make it. She seemed very good. She was obviously a Nepo baby. She's out there, and she seemed like, okay, whatever. Not my cup of tea, but she seems very good at what she does. So maybe it's not a life of being Don Swayze or Ron Cheadle. I don't even know if that's a real one, but it should be Ron Cheadle. Why not? All right, let's keep going. What else do we have here? Chris Rock on SNL. Do we watch some videos? I don't know if we watch some videos. Oh, yeah, let's watch this one. So did you see this? This was a video from, it's from last week, but it's interesting. It started making its way around. Isn't this interesting? Let's go back to the drones thing for a minute, because we're going to talk a little bit about Elon Musk here. Why isn't like Elon Musk talking about the drone stuff? Like, dude talks about everything. Dude, every other tweet that I see on Twitter is Elon Musk's hot take on something absurd, right? Why nothing about the drones? What's going on here? Trump too. Trump's got like, nothing to say on the drones. What's happening here? Anyway, so a UFC fighter by the name of Bryce Mitchell, a guy that I don't really know, he apparently has decided to go to war with Elon Musk. This is him in a post-fight press conference. I want you to watch this. Then we'll learn a little bit about this guy, because I happen to agree with him. I am not a fan of Elon Musk in any area of his, varied interests, other than, space exploration. And the space exploration stuff, I'm a big, it did that thing to me where, when you hit skip and then it gave me another commercial. That ain't supposed to be happening. That ain't fair. I don't like Elon Musk. I think he's a weirdo. I think he's scary. I think that we should all be very concerned about how much power we afford him. Plutocrats are not supposed to be, whatever, a thing in this country, but they are. I like his Mars stuff. I like his space stuff. I would like him to just focus on that, because we need like a borderline retarded savant to just focus on that. We need like dozens of these people, and we need to put them in a room somewhere. We need to go, what's next? Take humanity, you awkward, weird virgins. Take humanity to where we're supposed to go next. That's what we need him to do. None of this other crazy stuff. I don't like it. So this guy, UFC fighter, his name is Bryce Mitchell. He has a few choice words for Elon Musk. Let's give a listen, shall we?
You've been critical of Elon Musk. How do you feel about his involvement with the Doge?
Well, I think that time will prove me correct. Time will always reveal someone's true character, and if you put that man in a position of power, his true character will be revealed. And let's just put it this way. He has all the money in this country. He's the wealthiest man in the country, and he wasted on fucking rockets, man. Think about it, dude. He could actually help people with that money, but he don't.
I'm like, you had me, and then you lost me. I want him to waste that money on the rockets. Now he starts making some what many might think a bunch of libtard points here.
Give a shit about you. He's got all the money in the world to help you. It'd be a penny to him, and you would never have to work again. He don't give a shit about you, though. He wants to waste it on rockets and waste it on all these cars that suck. And time will reveal the character of that man. And the more he gets under the spotlight, you can't fake it forever. His character will be revealed, and you mark my words, it will be seen that he is a rat bastard. And, if I had all that money, I would like to think I would help people more than he does.
All right. Well, I would too. That's always been I would make my entire life about helping people, not making more money, unless I was a borderline retard and I could take us to Mars. Then I'd be focusing on that, which is where he should be focused. All right, so now whether or not you believe in the sentiment that was conveyed there by Bryce Mitchell, UFC, he's like a booger weight. He's like 135. He's like a tiny dude, one of them little guys. Let's learn a little bit more about him, okay, before we start going, yeah, he's my new favorite fighter. This idiot. Mitchell has a degree in economics from Harding University. Harding University sounds impressive if it were in maybe Rhode Island or Connecticut, but it's not. It's in like some town in Arkansas you've never heard of, and you've never heard of the school. So anyway, he's got a degree from Harding University. Outside of his mixed martial arts career, he's a cattle farmer. All right, very cool. Very cool. That's a cool gig. Mitchell is a conspiracy theorist. Oh, geez, here we go. Voicing his belief that SARS and COVID were created in labs by the U.S. government and then deliberately unleashed as a false flag. But you know how that goes. He believes that the United States government stages mass shootings to advance a gun confiscation agenda. He has also criticized the Federal Reserve as a corrupt institution that is manipulating the value of the U.S. dollar. Well, he might be onto something there. I don't think he's wrong there. But here's the kicker. This is where we got to, like, you know, if we're at the cocktail party and we're talking with him and we're like agreeing with some of the things that he says, and then he gets to this point, this is where you go, oh, I've got to go find my wife. And this is where you remove yourself. And he's a flat earther, okay? He's a flat earther. He's a geocentrist, and he believes that gravity is a conspiracy theory. In 2024, he indicated that he would homeschool his son because he didn't want him to be a communist and worship Satan or turn out gay. In July of 24, Mitchell claimed that Elon Musk is a false prophet and the potential Antichrist, and that his company Tesla is a scam. In 2021, Mitchell released a 7-track country rap mixtape titled Pasture Fire. There we go. That's him. That's the dude who's decided to go to war with Elon Musk. All right, so I'm going to leave you with this one. Let's do this. Remember I told you at the start of the show, I was like, we got us a new Oliver Anthony. Remember that guy, Oliver Anthony? What did he do? Was he singing a song about coal miners? I don't even remember. Oliver Anthony was some very talented, beautifully, his voice was beautiful, singer-songwriter who just appeared in a cornfield somewhere in West Virginia and went viral. And for a couple of months, he was like a big star. I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, we have the ability to do that now. And there's another guy going viral today. And I don't know, they're saying this could be the next Oliver Anthony. Let's give him a listen. His name, I think he's more established now because I think I've heard of him before. Jesse Wells. Jesse Wells is his name. You know, let's just do it on YouTube. Let's make sure we don't have any problems here. Hold on. All right, here we go. And it's very timely, too, what with the Bob Dylan movie, everybody talking about it. This is Jesse Wells. He's got a new, we're going to call this protest song, okay? It's called United Health. And yeah, it's sort of about the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO, who I like to refer to as an insurance company executive. It's going viral today. Jesse Wells, is this the new Oliver Anthony? Let's give it a listen. And by the way, very Bob Dylan. I don't know what Jesse Wells is like, but Bob Dylan's hot right now. So here you go.
There's an office in a building and a person in a chair, and you paid for it all, though you may be unaware. You paid for the paper, you paid for the phone, you paid for everything they need to deny you what you're owed. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. Now the procedure that you need ain't the cost-effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for help, cause your doctor's gotta pray through United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs, putting federal grants to work, made 50 billion buckaroos. Last year, the Warren Buffett of health, the Jeff Bezos of fear. Now CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredient you got, bake the cake you get. But if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, cause old Richard T. Burke ain't giving a fuck. Commoditized health, monopolized fraud. Here's the doctors we own and the research we bought. They own the pharmacies and a lot of the meds. They should start buying graves to sell us when we're all dead. There ain't no you in United Health. There ain't no me in the company. There ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. There's hardly humans in humanity.
All right. Jesse Wells, modern day folk singer, United Health, going viral. All right, guys, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, you can help support this kind of talk radio. What? I'm just getting a very weird, that was a weird, I don't know, just got a weird, it's not scam, it was like a telemarketing call or something. Hold on. Ooh. Oh, well, that's cool. Apparently one of our Radio Misfits shows, the great, is that it, sir? Wait, I don't know what this, is this real? Sarah Payan from Radio Misfits just won Content Creator of the Year. RadioMisfits.com for all your, she's our weed expert. She's awesome. Good for her. Good for you, Ed. Congratulations to Ed Sella, Content Creator of the Year. Sarah Payan. RadioMisfits.com. I'm distracted by the call that I just got. Because I don't know. Okay. I'll have to figure that out. Everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you back here tomorrow, right? Okay. Very good. Tip the show if you can. That'd be great. If not, whatever. We'll be fine. Ending. Let me get you caught up here. 3 dead, including the shooter, 6 injured in the school shooting that occurred earlier today around 11 o'clock. Plano. Jesus. Madison, Wisconsin, Christian school there. Okay. Yeah, why did I go out with that? That's such a bummer. Love you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow at noon for more. We do it every day. Like, follow, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And we'll see you back tomorrow for more rant I'm distracted. Love you. Bye.